And then our couple racers will fight for the big golden ticket. Welcome back once again to the BMW Sim M2 CS Racing Cup, bringing you all the wheel-to-wheel action that you can dream of the very last round in Indianapolis. My name's Randy Butler, alongside is Lee Smith. And Lee, I have to say that right from the get-go, Indianapolis was always great in the GT Pro Series, in the GT Challenge Series. It will be incredible on the BMWs, right?
Yeah, lots of overtaking opportunities, but also a pretty tight technical track. I'm very interested to see how the BMWs handle it. Obviously, it's all about keeping the slide and the speed going effectively in the corners, which will be very interesting in some of the tight, twisty sections.
It definitely is, and if you're in for a night of sim racing, then you just came to the right channel here with poweredbytraction.gg. As obviously, we not just have the BMW Sim M2 CS Racing Cup for you, we also got the very
I mean, he's gone. He's gone, isn't he? Well, it's all right, though, because I'm here. I'll be able to carry on, because we lost our man, Rene. He's back! There he is! How you doing, buddy? We lost you for a moment.
Oh, I'll just tell you that my Discord decided to restart. Never saw that. Never mind, though. What I wanted to say is, it is the last round. I'm not just the BMW Sim M2 CS Racing Cup, but also of the big GT Pro Series poweredbytraction.gg, so where all the best GT drivers in the world are fighting for the big title in its 4th season, this season with the GTE race cars. So yeah, definitely be seated for that and make sure that you're in for the entire night, because there will be great racing. October the 18th, that's exactly where we are, Lee. And Indianapolis is also where we are, a track that we should be used to by now. We saw it in a few championships, and let's hope that our drivers know how to race on it, because so far, every single race I witnessed here was tight to the last second.
Well, I can tell you, I mean, obviously we're seeing Erhan on the circuit right now, who has obviously done very well in the past in this series. However, I can tell you, he technically hadn't qualified in the top 20. But somebody didn't turn up, so he was the 21st driver, and here he is. So if he does really well today, he's got to thank whoever's missing. That's for sure.
Yes, I have an Erniowski in. It's always good. He's a great driver. Obviously got a ton of victories already to his name and titles. But what's missing so far is a BMW Sim M2 CS Racing Cup. Maybe I should just shorten the title by now. He's never won here in the new season, right? He did in the previous one, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember that correctly. But he has to do it still this season, and Safari does that very well in the qualification setting, putting himself on pole position right in front of the two drivers. Not saying brothers anymore, because last time
brothers-in-law.
Last time I picked up on you saying they're stepbrothers, so I just went with it for the entire show, and then I got a message right after it telling me they're not.
Yeah, so we called them brothers before, and then I get a message to say, no, we're stepbrothers. And I think what they've done is lost in translation somewhere along the line. They're brothers-in-law. One of them's married to the other one's sister. There we go. We're clear. We're clean. We're clear. We got it out of the way. Didn't Yayovsky win last week? Last race?
Did he?
I'm pretty sure. Yes, he did.
Oh, man. After all
you
that
were here. You were here.
You sure? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he did. I was like,
all
I think
right,
he won a Spa. I think he did.
You're absolutely right. I was still with the previous round. I was still in round 5. Obviously, but would have been surprising if Erniowski doesn't win around here, because he's really, really good. So is Johan Kurjan, but so far, not really capable of getting himself consistently inside the top 5. I think the last race that was Luck Drummond, which was horrible for his team, if we keep it short. So let's see what they can do in Indianapolis here. And by the way, now that I know that Johannes drives is Johannes Scheuerle, that was the driver I was talking about last time during the show. I was saying, wait, we got a Scheuerle. I know one from the good old times in Live for Speed, right? So it is the same person. Kudos to that he still sticks around, which means he's way more still than I am.
So does that mean his actual brother, Johannes' actual brother, is that the other Scheuerle?
Yes, that's
there.
Correct.
We go. See, we were half right, kind of. In a not.
Yeah, there was
not
a brother
on
the grid. There was a brother on the grid, but it wasn't the one we pointed out.
Yeah. I mean, you were kind of on it when you saw the surname and said, hang on a minute, I know that name. That should be this guy. But anyway, yeah, incredible. As we, what do we expect, eh? Of course, Yayovsky is now on the podium, it seems, on the pole at least. looking like as the qualifying is sort of rounding out the final 10 seconds. Lots of names that we've seen before here, a couple that we haven't. We were talking about Bas van den Boom, having a fantastic name alongside Max Grip, who we had in another series, but just 15th for him. Meanwhile, Yayovsky just at the start of what will be the final qualifying lap for him.
Yeah, I think, is he really still running on one?
I don't think he's even going to be able to get to do it.
Yeah, I mean, he's currently sitting on pole anyway. The question is there anyone still out there that could beat him? It could be one of the Dry's drivers. Obviously, Mikkel Smeedel is in 5th. Someone I was expecting here to be a front runner or front row starting position, while Johan Kerjan comes across the line, is not capable of improving, so he will stay in 10th, at least if no one else from behind, like Henry Sinnick, is actually improving. The satellite racing driver coming around the last bend or turn and going all the way there, trying to keep the way as short as possible to the line, but also that does not really help. Stays in 11th for him as well, not improving. Currently checking if there's any other big name that we should be aware of in this last round, and the very last chance to get that big golden ticket. Obviously, if you don't know what that means, don't worry, we'll explain that to you right after this one. But that's what everyone's aiming for, right? And Borodai is probably not close enough to get one, but still like that he's here because we wanted to see everyone racing. While Johannes Dries, formerly known as Johannes Scheuerle, is still out there on the track. Yellow and green sector doesn't look too good for him to get into the front row.
No, doesn't look like it. His brother-in-law is going to keep him locked out of that one. Speaking of which, he's looking good for a potential pole coming in behind. Can he steal away? 0.053 was all he was chasing. It may be enough to get the pole position. Goes over the line and he steals it. Steals it in the last. Now, Yayovsky was out, but I think he's done. And that is a nice performance from Philip Dries. They can separate themselves. They will be on the, I think, the right side of the grid, isn't it? Is it the right side or the left side of the starting pole? I can't remember at Indianapolis. But either way, fantastic performance from him to steal that pole away from Yayovsky on the last gasp effort. And you can see how tight it is. Ordinarily, the BMWs are spread quite a lot, but this top 10 is pretty tight.
I love how we got all the virtual drivers per TX3 cars in a row.
They did that last time, right?
We did not manage to do the same for the NeatRacing.com cars. Really look into that.
But they're actually every other car. Every
second car is theirs. So if they're all on the same side, that's quite nice.
They will be in a row. They will completely be in a row. So interested to see if they can sort of make use of that. I don't know, but either way, they're looking great. Last time out, actually, the TX3 boys, they were together, and didn't one of them wipe one of the teammates out? I don't want to throw someone under the bus, but I kind of feel like Fabian Baal caught someone on the backside last time. But anyway, that was a Spa. We're at Indianapolis right now for the final round, and this is all about getting a place in the finals. This is obviously the second season we've been running this to round out the grid. There's one more ticket up for grabs. The top 3, I'm trying to think the top 4. Yes, Schmiedel's got one. Is it the top 5 maybe? Who else was up there? There's quite a lot of drivers already in that top 5 that's already got a ticket. I think, if I'm just trying to remember my grid, I think 4th or 5th place has not got one. So that could be the front run. As you can see, there's the Dries stepbrothers. No, brothers-in-law. We've obviously got Chinchik and Schmiedel, who locked it out early on, along with Yuri Tome and Vargas Sim Racing dominating at the start. Then Yayovsky and Capit came in to lock that down. Diogo Silva's got himself in. I didn't see him on the grid today, actually. Lucas Verla, Horsing, and Johannes Dries picking it up at Spa last time out, which means somebody somewhere will be completing this grid for what will be the 2021 finals. Don't actually know the date on it just yet of when that will be happening, but I tell you what, it is a stacked grid.
It definitely is, and the golden tickets obviously gets you into the grand final, and here's what's on site for today. 50 minutes of private qualification with unlimited laps. That's what we just saw previously, which means private qualification, so there was no other car for them visible on the track. We just saw them one by one. Then a 20-minute race starts in order of the qualification results. Everyone on the same car, the BMW M2 CS Cup, with 550 Nm torque and 350 horsepower. That's enough to rip apart your rear axle and get it sideways and then they will fight wheel to wheel in these 20 minutes for the golden ticket if they don't have one already. So everyone you saw on the previous list has a golden ticket. They won't get a second one. And additionally, they also get with some cash, right? Cash first, 500 euros, 250 for second, and 100 euros still for third, which is why you will see a heated up battle every single time for the podium spots here in this BMW Sim M2 CS Racing Cup. And that's what I'm looking forward for in Indianapolis. A beautiful track. Already got one of the reworks by Studio 397 a bit earlier that year. Really lets it shine once again, and let's hope the drivers will let it shine here on the tarmac. And if you're not familiar yet with Cup Racing, Lee, explain to us Cup Racing in just 2 words.
Chaos.
Or another word.
I'll go with as the first one. That was it. Yeah, no, honestly, no, I say chaos. That's a little unfair, I would say. That's a little
I wanted to say bang boom.
We're bang boom, action packed. Robin is racing. Maybe that one we could go with. Robin is racing. That could work out. We do tend to have connections, but anyone that's watched sort of British touring car back in the day, it's all the same style of stuff as well. You know, the cars are equally matched. It's as simple as that. It's not like you're going to gain a huge advantage. I did just see someone spin out on the screen recovering there. Yellow's in sector 2. Don't do that in the full race, as they do just get themselves set up on their full fuel setups. We'll be interested to see how this one goes.
Yeah, Aiden Millwall already in the chat. Obviously, one of the commentators here in the rFactor 2 crew asking, are they running the oval? They do, but just part of it. If we would, we should maybe do a bonus race and to run the entire oval. I think that would be kind of fun. Redman asking, bros-in-law do not usually have the same last name. That's exactly what we were tripping on. But in this case, he decided to take on the name of his wife, which is totally okay. I mean, it's 2021, and I can tell you I probably lose that war as well, if you want to call it a war about the last name. So yeah, why not? It's a nice name as well. Looks cool. Dries. I think that has a certain ring to it. Looks good, and I have to say, how high are the chances that actually the girl you're marrying has a brother that is on the same level in terms of sim racing and even into the same genre, right? And you end up in the same competition with your other brother than on the other name still. So I think that this was engineered, kind of.
I mean, I got to assume they knew each other, and obviously he ended up, getting married to the sister. That's how it worked. I got to assume they knew each other from the racing circles. Which is pretty impressive. So maybe she's into the racing side of things as well. I don't know. Maybe we're going to see her popping up suddenly in the sim rig as well next.
It's like Traction will come up with a new documentary up next on the Dries brothers, in quote, figuring out how this all happened.
Racing with the Dreises.
Maybe
all sorts.
It could be another Aiden Millward storytime video. Lots of things that could happen in the sim racing scene while we still see them warm up. So don't get hyped up if you see the fights now and you're wondering, it's like, why are these guys not talking about the incredible fight with one of the RAG cars belonging to Erniowski right in front of our faces? That's actually because this is the warm up. And they're currently, just testing out Slipstream maybe, as Erniowski hangs into Slipstream of one of the Varga sim racing cars that could be Smeedle, as they want to go 3 wide into the turn alongside the TX3 car. Easy as it is, look at Erniowski sending him. He's definitely practicing. He's looking for all the opportunities.
Looking for the send it.
Yeah, whatever you can do, wherever you can lick it and send it. That's probably what he's looking for right now, because he's only starting in second, right? As Philip Dries, in a last-second attempt, ripped the pole position off Yowski's hands and is now the one starting this race in just a bit.
Look how sideways they get on the corner. It's very attractive to watch in terms of like how to keep the control of it and sort of the control of the drifting effectively. It's very impressive stuff. So warm up pretty much set and ready. Just 3 minutes for these guys to get a couple of laps in, figure out what is going on with the cars under full weight rather than just under qualifications, and getting a bit of their racecraft polished off, judging by the way they're all flinging it about in these corners. But you can see, this is what we were talking about at the start of the show, just obviously with Indianapolis, yes, there's overtaking opportunities. Yes, there's some heavy braking chances where you can sort of slip up that inside, but there's also a lot of opportunities to make or lose time in and around some of these corners. It is quite a tight, twisty section. Obviously, the part on the oval is not. Before anyone jumps and says, "Oh, it's just an oval." Outside of that, it is quite a tight, twisty circus. We were obviously watching Tobias Schuler here, and we're showing exactly. I mean, it's pretty much sideways the whole way. It's just a case of holding the angle on your wheel and drifting him round once again. It's very pleasing to watch just how sweeping the whole momentum of it is.
It looks action-packed and obviously looks quick and dynamic, right? But
we're going to be seeing a lot of Ruben slow-mos today.
Yes, what I was wondering, we had one of the shots showcasing us all the trucks that are on the track, right? And I was just wondering, so since I'm in sim racing now for those 15 whatever years, getting way too old on it, whatever it is there 1 year where we finally are realistic enough to say European Truck Simulator and American Truck Simulator, they team up with rFactor, and the teams first have to get their truck there, and who isn't there in time is missing parts or his car or what's so basically like real life.
That would be fantastic. Hey, I saw the Butler Powell truck. That's actually looks pretty darn impressive that someone's done in Euro trucks. But anyway, here's the grid. It is the Dries of Philip Dries and Johannes in first and third. Jajowski in between them with Schmiedl in fourth. Geisler, that's the man I was thinking of, in fifth. Has not got a ticket yet. Paul August Lana, what a great qualifying for him in sixth. Schuler in seventh. Delorme down in eighth place for the TX3. This is the TX3 run of him. Baal and Kirjan all locking out 9th and 10th. The top 10 sorted out. Henry Sinnick for Satellite Racing. Lucas Verla has himself a ticket already down in 12th. Remco Major down in 13th. Joye in 14th for Angry Bull. Scott Sovic in 15th. Nilo Pastorino in 16th position. Haven't seen I think it's his daughter that's on here. Bas van der Boom was 17th. Time Bensic in 18th position. Boroda in 19th. Missed 20th out there. Vladislav Denev in 21st. Jason Frankowski in 22nd. And rounding out, it is Ryan Nash at the back of the grid.
Yeah, not the Nash from NBA, obviously, because his first name wasn't Ryan. It was Steve Nash. But let's see if he maybe can bring some magic to the tarmac instead of bringing it to the court, right? But that will be a tough starting position from all the way in the back. But we also saw incredible comebacks in sim racing, which is why I love sim racing. It's all down to what you're willing to risk, and if you can really bring talent, money doesn't matter. Not as much as in real racing, let's say that. Not that someone blames me that you can be a lot quicker with those pedals or that steering wheel. So I'd say it just doesn't matter as much. But it is the last round. Round 6 of the big championship, the BMW Sim M2 CS Racing Cup. Obviously, the support series to the big rFactor 2 GT Pro Series powered by Traction.gg. That will happen a bit later today, so you can just stay on the stream and then watch it right after as all the action unfolds there. But it's the second season, the third season in total for BMW, if I'm not mistaken, and the second as a support series. And I will be missing these races for a while now. It's the end of the year, 2021, nearly done and dusted. And that means we will have to say goodbye to the GT Pro Series, to the rFactor 2 Formula Pro Series. That's already done because Mercedes-AMG Petronas Esports was winning there, and Bono House was a driver dominating in that series. And that makes a lot of space for everyone out there to jump in their sim as well. Just drive, and maybe you qualify for the next season.
That's it. Get your practice in now. And maybe in 2022, which is crazy of me to say 2022, I feel like the years are rolling by a little bit too quick, but that's when the next season will be, hopefully. It's been a fantastic season, so no doubt about it. Been really enjoying the rFactor 2 racing action, especially with the BMW Sims. They always deliver, and of course the GT Pro is rounding out a new champion, it would appear, judging by how things are. I don't think we're going to have any repeats, but here we go on the starting line. It is a straight green flag drop, and away we go. And that looked like some pretty slow starts down the grid. I've got to be honest, the front view, it looked like the back was going a lot quicker than the front, and I can see that Dries has got Yuyovski challenging him already, but look at the Need for Racing stack lineup as they all try and squeeze on through. Johannes has tried to get him up there. Schmiedel a little nudge in there on the side of Yuyovski, but look at Schmiedel really working his way up the side there, squeezing his way, trying to get into third, but he's lost that position to Johannes Dries, and now Geisler tries to look inside.
Yeah, what a race start here, though, when Cypher said right from the get-go, and Philip Dries was really under pressure there by 2 times GT Pro champion Erhan Yuyovski, but he held on to top position, so he's currently still leading the grid, and Schmiedel was starting in 4th, so he basically still where he left off, but he had the chance to pass Johannes Dries very early on, but couldn't make it stick. He even cut a bit over the grass. There wasn't enough. Geisler, one of the teammates of Dries, in this case, he's right in there as 5th, and then behind that is Paul Augusto Lana in the first slightly greenish car, and more like teal. In the background, look at Yuyovski really cutting as much as he can. Basically, if there would be a co-driver, it would be like 3 right, cut, 3 left, cut. Every single time he tries to maximize, or in that case, minimize the path he has to drive with his car, but it's not enough yet to really attack Philip Dries.
No, but at the moment you can see there's opportunities there. That was pretty tight to clip in the rear end. I was expecting a little bump. There's a TX3 driver being challenged out here down the back of the grid. That is Lucas Verla that was down in 12th, challenging to try and squeeze up. He's got ahead of Remco Major already, but it looks like Fabian Barl is going to get past now, and Remco Major looking to do the same to follow him behind, take over his teammate, and Fabian Barl losing out on a lot of positions, but look at the drag down the main straight that you get in these BMWs.
Did he just try to draft bump? I mean, that is part of the oval, but this is not NASCAR, guys. This is cup racing. And Yuyovski still locked onto the rear of Philip Dries, trying to find a way around side. Just looking for an opportunity or a gap opening. But this fight, I mean, Philip Dries, we saw him fighting the entire season, and he can really defend for good. So we saw Yuyovski being able to defend for a very, very long time. If everyone remembers the Formula Pro Series race at Monza, this time he is the one that has to find a way to overtake just now.
Yeah, it does look like he's going to struggle. Oh, that's a slight tap, and it does look like Bensic has lost out on a position there to Borodi as he's squeezed on through. That's down in 19th position. It's so impressive just seeing them slide on round. At the moment, though, positions as were at the front 6. Nobody changing positions down here. Everybody, it was very tight, no doubt about it at the start, but I got a feeling, Rene, and you were talking about it, I feel that there's going to be some cutting penalties that may well start to pay dividends in this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you said, everyone's on the same car, right? So if you have to somehow get the upper hand, then trying to extend the track limits here and there is something that you can see easily being done. Dries going a bit too sideways here, and I think that cost him a bit of time. Yuyovski right on him once again, and he's missing the help of Johannes Dries to really cement this lead. But who would get the golden ticket so far? So we know both Dries drivers have one. Yuyovski has one. Schmiedel has one. Geisler, another NeedForRacing.com driver, would get the ticket, making it 3 of the Need for Racing drivers making it to the grand finale, if I'm not mistaken. Right now.
That was a heavy hit from Dreiser, and that's put him under pressure from Yuyovski. You saw him clatter the curb. Yuyovski looked to try and benefit from it, but wasn't really in the position to go for it, because obviously, you know, Dreiser is going to take a lot to get past that BMW. He's going to block the curve quite a large amount. He's definitely unsettled the car, though. But yes, as you say, Geisler certainly in with a chance, along with Paul August Lana, if he can get closer. But that front 4 is very tight at the moment. You can see Geisler and Paul August Lana just sort of separated a little bit, 5th and 6th there. And then a little further down the field is Schürrle and Delorme. Henry Sinnick, by the way, started down in 12th position, up into 9th already. So he's done a fantastic start to get past all those TX3 cars. Yeah,
definitely great job by the satellite driver here. And currently he's stuck behind Delorme. Not sure if he will also have an answer to that, and then would be Tobias Schürrle up next. That's another Need for Racing car. A lot of them to today's grid at the front that you see there. But yeah, what I want to say, the train at the top, right, Dries, Zajowski, Dries, and Smeedle, that really reminds me of the old times with the BMW E46 320 WTCC car, right? Similar pictures there, as these cars have been really, really quick. One of the few rear-wheel driven cars back in the WTCC grid, and if I'm not mistaken, also the one that stood the longest on naturally aspirated engines, or were they turbo really quick? I don't remember correctly, but they always put on good action on the screen. And now Zajowski has to move to the outside as Dries is covering the inside. But we know that this can work. And it might work for Zajowski, who's going the long way around, but now got the inside. And he's really sticking to it. Look at that, how he's defending the curb. And he might have a shot, but once again, it is Philip Dries that will remain on first. But what a fight for the lead here.
Tight there. And you saw Smeedle also having a little look at Johannes Dries behind as well. So Johannes keeping hold of that third position, but good pressure from Erhan there, just making use of that drag and realizing, okay, I've got a chance. Now, he had a good look at that. We might see him do it again here, because he realized obviously the situation, like where he gained and lost. Maybe he needs to get his elbows out a bit more to try and take control of that corner, but really nicely worked out from him in the end there. But it was Philip Dries that managed to hold onto that lead. Smeedle, meanwhile, he's continued to try and stay on the back of these. You can see how bruised and battered. Wow, look at the rear bump of Johannes Dries. That's had a bit of love from Smeedle, I feel.
It definitely needs a bit of polishing maybe by the BMW garage right after the race. But Zajowski is breaking away from Johannes Dries, and with that putting even more pressure on Philip Dries, who is still leading. But it's another 13 minutes until you will see the checkered flag. Let's see what we get as a replay. That's Smeedle against the other Dries. Against Johannes Dries. Wow, really hard on the braking, but that was a great maneuver. But it wasn't enough once again, as Johannes Dries remains in third. That is really a proper fight that we see no matter the sector.
So he must have just caught the bumper there, because it was completely clean. The bumper was there. Okay, yeah, Zajowski's going for it again around the outside. Now, we saw it work for Smeedle. Smeedle has got up the inside again of Johannes, but that's not going to work out. Zajowski may well be able to muscle his way through. I was talking about getting the elbows out, and that's what he's done. He's made it stick, and he's got himself ahead of Philip Dries.
Yeah, what a maneuver here. Zajowski was really willing to risk absolutely everything, and as you said, elbows are out in this race, the last of the season. And if you want to get another 500 euros for a win, then yeah, you have to take them tonight. And Zajowski, he looks absolutely dialed in. Look at him now leading the pack, and I think we will see him break away. I mean, he's just so strong. He's such a good driver, and man, that battling performance he put on was just incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we said it, we saw it, we knew he was going to go for it again. He'd had his test run, and this time he made it stick. He knew he had to get his car just more in that corner. It gives himself a position. Now, I'm wondering now, Smeedle would have watched that play out and thinking, okay, that's how we do it. That's how we get past. So he may trade on Johannes next time out to see whether he can get closer. But as you say, a decent gap already for Erhan to shake the toe effectively, because there will be a pretty hefty toe as they once again come around the tight twisty section into the back straight of corner and straight, I guess you could say, but either way onto the main circuit, and that's where he needs to break it. Look at that, look at the gap he has. The toe that Zajowski was getting is completely gone, but Smeedle has it, and he may have a look now. Is he going to go inside? Is he going to go outside? It's going to be another inside view for Smeedle as he tries to send it.
Yeah, it's like once again the same corner that we saw in the previous lap. And he's pushing. Johannes Dries right there. But same outcome though. No matter how much he pushes Dries away, still in front right after the turn. And Smeedle knows that the difference between him and Johannes Dries is Johannes goes home with 50 euros. No, 100 euros even. And Smeedle goes home empty-handed if he stays on this position.
Oh, that's a little too sideways for Johannes there. Just Smeedle catching him almost, forcing him to back out of that one. Further down the field, everything's pretty much as is. Fabian Bal has gone back down to 13th now, so he's lost out to Joye and Pastorino, so he's lost to quite a few positions, Fabian Bal, somewhere down there. That is some excursions coming in from the Schmiedel there, the Vargas Sim Racing driver, and you can see Geisler having a look, but this is a great move by Schmiedel. He's going to give it inside. It is a straight drag race, and this is going to give him the position and advantage that he needs, but Dries can just pull in straight behind him, get the toe, and if he's in the right position at the right time on the next lap, have a chance of making it. But a great overtake from Schmiedel.
Yeah, Schmiedel was waiting for that so long, right? He was really putting in the right position. That is the maneuver between Erniowski and Philip Dries for the lead. Around the outside, really strong on the brakes. Like, that was so smooth coming into this, really taking all the momentum, but a lot of robbing, that's for sure. These would be real cars. I'm not quite sure if Philip Dries would still have his right mirror, but Erniowski, our new leader, and I would even go as far as saying 99% sure that he will bring this home, because he's just flawless with leading.
Yeah, and he's built himself up a bit of a gap, hasn't he? Schmiedel, though, is putting the pressure onto Philip Dries now, so Schmiedel wants to catch on them, but getting past... what's happened? Something's happened in the break there, because Geisler's passed Dries as well, so Johannes has lost a position here, as well as to Schmiedel. He's lost a position on Geisler, so I got to assume he's had to go back at him, and Geisler's come through somewhere during that replay, so... Erhan, as I was saying, built himself a little bit of a gap, 0.6 seconds, just trying to break that toe from Philip Dries as best he can. But while that battle's been going on, the fact that there's now a nearly 3-second gap between Schmiedel and Dries tells me that definitely something happened while we were in that replay. I didn't have the game open myself. I was watching the stream.
Another 8 minutes to go here in Indianapolis for round 6 of the BMW Sim M2 CS Racing Cup, as the warm-up for tonight's big GT Pro Series finale. Let's see what we get this time as a replay. That is the fight between Geisler and his teammate Johannes Dries. Easy maneuver. Yep, Johannes not really defending. Paul Castellano came really close on that corner. Luckily, he did not touch Dries. So nothing bad has happened.
I mean, I wonder if it's tactical. This is because bearing in mind, this is defending Geisler for the ticket, right? And now Dries should just keep Lana behind him and sort of go that way. I'd like to be cynical and think that's not the case, but it could be. It could be tactical for Need Racing here. I mean, why not get themselves 3 cars in there, equal the Vargas Sim Racing guys? There's 3 Vargas Sim Racing drivers. What is happening down here? Cynic and Kirjan. Kirjan challenging out for 8th position there, side by side with Cynic, gets sent off the track, and that well may lose his position. It will do to Schuller as well.
Yeah, like that was really wide there. Seems like they came together. Not really ideal, but it's not fighting for the money anymore, nor for the golden ticket as of right now. See, August Alane still looking at the back of Johannes Dries and Geisler, 2 teammates. Can Lane find a way around? So far, he's mostly not the driver that we really see attacking. We saw him defending a few races, and sometimes he picks up a position here and there when people do a mistake, but I wouldn't really count him as one of the aggressive drivers. And I think on these BMW Cup cars, you have to be aggressive. It's always elbows up. This is basically like end of season sale or Primark, right? And you really have to get the one top that your girlfriend was asking for the last 3 years, and it's the last one in there, and you really have to get it. That's what BMW Cup is all about.
That's it. It's the Black Friday sales, and Kirjan making it work here, maybe. So he tried to dive bomb it on Cynic, and you can see side by side. And, well, you know, we saw obviously Yayovsky and Dries having a cleaner battle in that spot. That's basically getting a little too elbowy. But yeah, it's, Henry Cynic just sort of giving him a bit of bite back and saying, no, not today, mate. My spot. It's going to make sure he keeps hold of it. Absolutely worked out well for him in the end, though. Barodi up into 19th. We saw him taking 20th place earlier on. Looks like he's challenging out for 18th now on towards Bensick. Going to try and swing it out wide and get that toe as fast as he can and see if he can maybe send it into turn 1.
Yeah, it's like he has the slipstream, but not sure if it's really close enough. Bensick now moves around to get the inside covered. They both cross the line again. That's definitely illegal blocking, I'm sure, and that sends Bensick spinning into the infield there. Luckily, he stopped the car on the tarmac, but I'm pretty sure that was intentional blocking.
Yeah, you can't defend left, then defend right, then defend left. It's like that's not how it works. You get that one maneuver in there, and then you can't just weave across the track and completely block the whole road. It doesn't work that way. But yeah, we go. I think justice was served by the fact that he went off the circuit and the other guy carried on, at least. But Jimmy may well be having a word on that one. Either way, Johannes Dries under pressure here. Paul August Lana going to try around the outside, and he's going to have the inside now. This is where Yayovsky got it done. We'll see whether Dries can maybe, Lana can maybe make it work here, because Johannes Dries has lost quite a few places. He will have the inside now, and I think Lana's realizing that he's going to have to try back out of this one. We can see just back into the toe, but it gives him a real chance into turn 1 here.
Yeah, really interesting to see right after I said that August Lana is normally not the one that we see being aggressive and attacking drivers, but he does now. Seems like he was listening. Good on you. Now make it stick here. Heartbreaking zone once again alongside Dries, and then around the outside, just like Erniowski did previously. And they once again touch. The front fender's really dented by now. But August Lana, Paul August Lana is now through up to 5th position.
Yeah, that was a nice move from Paul August Lana, and I was talking about this, whether it was a defensive move to keep Geisler safe, but that's the safety net now removed. 3 minutes on the clock. It's got a lot of work to do to catch up on to Geisler, though, I feel. Bearing in mind, this is basically for the golden ticket. This will be the ticket for the finals, because Yayovsky, Philip Dries, and Schmiedel all have one themselves. So it would fall down to 4th place at the moment between Geisler and Paul August Lana. But I think it's just too much to do with just 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's like 3 minutes is not that much, especially on these cars, right? But Lana is now in a position where he can basically smell the golden ticket already. But for that, he has to take down Michael Geisler, and that won't be easy, especially not with the big of a gap they already have. So if Geisler doesn't do a mistake, he should join his teammates in the grand finale. But it's not over until someone sings or something, I heard.
I mean, I don't know if there's any fat ladies about, but they got to get to warm up the vocals, because it's looking good for Geisler, as it were. Lana, though, I mean, it was a great move for him, for the Falanti driver, and I do just wonder the fact that Johannes has dropped further back. Like, has he taken that much damage? Has dropped him back? Because obviously he was running in 3rd place at one point. He's now down in 6th, so definitely losing time over these laps. I wonder if he was maybe intentionally trying to back Paul August Lana up as much as he could there to buy time for Geisler to get away.
Yeah, if he did, then I think he did a good job, right? Even if he not dropped behind.
Side by side.
Although they're still fighting, he costs them a ton of time, and the gap gets bigger and bigger. But Johannes Dries not willing yet to stay outside of the top 5. He wants the spot back from Paul August Lana, and it seems like he will be able to do that for now, with 1.5 minutes still on the clock. Oh, look at that. Remy Delorme now might get into this fight, and when 2 fighting, then he can be the lucky 3rd, it seems.
He's going to try and squeeze. Oh, he's going to get the switch back, I think, on Dries. Dries has overcooked it on the corner, trying to fight back in there, and it's opened it up, as you say, for Remy Delorme, who really was quite far back before this battle continued. And Johannes Dries, well, he's going to have the inside once again, but this is true battling to the end with just a minute to go.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible what the guys are doing here now for us on the TV screens, making sure that it's good action to watch and getting everyone hyped here for the entire evening of racing action on the Traction channels. Dries still hanging in there. Only 6th. He wanted to be 5th. That was what he was aiming for when starting his attack onto Lana, but now he has to defend against Delorme to even stay in 6th. Last 30 seconds, and Henry Sinek currently in 8th. Kerjan right behind. That was the fight we previously saw.
Yeah, so he's
being sent wide. Sinek kind of and are realizing the BMW is longer than it's wide. If I just go sideways, it's way harder to be overtaken.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kurjan's done very well to get back in there, hasn't he? To have another chance at trying to overtake him, because obviously he was sent packing off the circuit. We're into the final lap, though, now, and it is going to be surely Yovsky to take this one. If I'm not mistaken, Remy Delorme, I think he's already got a ticket as well, so he's simply racing for position, having fun. That these guys are, of course, the money, €500 for Anja Yovsky for being in first place, Dreisten and Schmiedel, the top 3 podium drivers, all picking up a paycheck here. Geisler will be picking up a bigger paycheck in terms of the ticket for the finals, but Johannes Dreis, my God, he's been under pressure the whole race. This is Henry Sinnick going very sideways and making sure he completely stops Kirjan going past.
Yeah, it's definitely a great slow-mo once again by Ruben Correa. Alva's the master of slow motion. Pretty sure he invented it and then sold it back then to the guys who probably did Matrix. And then with all that money, he built his own production showcase at home to actually do these shows. I think that's the true story. But what is another true story is that Ujovski looks like another race winner in the BMW Sim M2CS Racing Cup. He already got the golden ticket, so that would actually go down all the way to 4th position to Geisler. By the way, who's now back into the top 5. No, that was Johannes Dreis I was currently talking about, not Geisler. He was the entire time in the top 5. Henry Sinnick will be able to defend off Kurjan, as it looks like, and Ujovski coming across the line in just a few meters, celebrating another win and not a golden ticket because he has that already, but €500 in cash. And an incredible race that he put on here. Definitely showcased once again why he's known as one of the best drivers in not just rFactor 2, but the entirety of the sim world. Kurjan not willing yet to give up. Even with bumping Henry Sinnick, it will not help.
Bump drafted him down the straight. Oh, I love it to finish there. So Geisler, the Michael Geisler is going to be for racing there. Is going to be joining his teammates, Philip Dreis and Johannes Dreis, are already in that finals. He will be the last man to get into that finals. Congratulations to him. Confirmation of the final results of the final BMW Sim M2CS Racing Cup here at Indianapolis. Anja Yovsky in first, Dreis in second, Philip Dreis, Michael Schmiedel rounding out that podium. Then Michael Geisler, Paul August Lana, well fought for him to get up to 5th place. Johannes Dreis from 3rd down to 6th. He'll be unhappy with his performance. Remy Delorme, though, up into 7th. Henry Sinnick, what a race from him, up into 8th from 12th. Johan Kurjan down in 9th position, and Tobias Schürrle also working his way from 12th to 10th. Florian Joye down to 11th place. He's worked his way up as well. Remco Major also up into 12th. Lucas Verla started out in 12th down to 13th, losing his place. But Fabio Bal, he's going to have an unhappy day as he went start from 9th place down to 14th. Bas van den Boom, what a race from him, from 20th up to 15th. Ryan Nash from 23rd to 16th. Great performance from him in, well, one of the first races we recognized him here in the BMW CM2CS Racing Cup. So great performance overall. Borodo, we saw him down in 20th. He worked his way up to 17th as well. Benchik tied in 18th place. Not sure about that one, but maybe they went over the line at the exact same second. But either way, him and Papa Dimitri in 18th, and Denev in 20th position overall, although it says 21st. He must have missed someone. Maybe he's got a DNF, I suspect, when he's on 11 laps.
Well, that could definitely happen, and this is the list of drivers that we will see in the big finale of the BMW Sim M2CS Racing Cup. So Chinchik, Schmiedel, Yuri Toman, Ujovski, Capit, Dreis, Diogo Silva, who I think he's in the YouTube chat, so shout out to him. Remy Delorme, Lucas Verle, Lorenz Herzing, Johannes Dreis, and Michael Geisler. So that gives us 3 Vargas Sim Racing cars. I actually like that they all qualified in the first 3 events back in Season 1. Ujovski and Risto Capit, both for Roman Grosjean Esports, the ex-Formula 1 driver, and I think current IndyCar race, if I'm not mistaken. Then NeatRacing.com, they get another 3 cars in there. And Remy Delorme all on his own for the virtual drivers by TX3, although he had a ton of teammates in there, but none of them managed to get in. Lucas Verle driving for Verle makes absolute sense. He's in there alone as well. GTC Race Center for Diogo Silva, and then the Sim Racing team powered by BMW for Lorenz buzzing. So that is quite a cool lineup, but I have to ask one thing, Lee, and I know that's completely cringe and all that, but really, I couldn't stop myself from thinking. Every single time Buzz Von den Boom overtook someone, because he started 21st, 20th, was he singing in his hand, boom, here comes the boom, ready or not? It's like, really, I know that's stupid, but that was the first thing that came into my mind when he said he went up the leaderboard.
It's kind of been his name for his life, so probably not. He's probably quite tired of it, in fact. But at least you had fun with it anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it helped my evening. And what's helping your evening is even more racing action that's just about to happen on the same screen, on the same channel. So you don't have to go anywhere. It's really simple for you if you want to watch, and you should watch, the rFactor 2 GT Pro Series powered by Traction.gg. That championship is not yet decided. And it's also the last round, and Indianapolis just proved that it has good racing every single time, no matter the cars, no matter the classes. So the GT Pro Series will be absolutely incredible. We'll see all that action right after the break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So the BMW is out the way. We have our 12 finalists for that, but now I'm joined by Aiden to take us through the finale of the GT Pro Championships. And Aiden, it is hotting up here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, Indianapolis is, sort of become the traditional end of season party. We had a great finale last time out in Challenge with the ending of GT Challenge last season and things like that. So hopefully it'll put on a great race. We saw some great action in the BMWs about 45 minutes ago or so, and that kicked off. So hopefully we have a good end to the season and see who comes out on top for season 4.
Yeah, it has been a fantastic season all the way along. We ended up with a brilliant Spa just 2 weeks ago, but here we are. It feels so quick. It was 2 weeks ago, that epic Spa racing. But now we come into the championships with, I would say probably an opportunity for like 5, maybe 6 drivers that could take it today. It is wide open here in Indianapolis. Absolutely loving how this season 4 has rolled out, and it does seem we are going to be crowning a brand new champion, someone that has not won it before, which is always fabulous for us.
Yeah, it's always great to see different winners each time round. Jan van der Heijden missing several rounds through other commitments in the real world, because apparently that exists. Who knew? But to see so many drivers in contention to actually win the season, I mean, you've got Jene Simičić, who is the hot favourite. They are out on qualifying right now, and Simičić is actually fastest. He's ahead of Risto Cap at the minute, Alex Siebel in fourth, and Marcel Šincik for Varga in between those. So, but like you say, so many people in contention because of the way the point system is. It's 1 point between each driver after first and second. So if you have a really bad round or you miss a round, you're just going to be tumbling down those standings. It's going to be a hard task to get back up again.
Yeah, very interested to see how the qualification is going to run out here in Indianapolis. As you can see, the season so far has progressed over Monza, Sebring, Lime Rock, Lockdemont, and Spa. We've had some brilliant racing action in the GTEs this time out. It is the GTEs, not the GT3s. I should point out that we are racing in, as you can see, the 6 different production cars that we are using, or manufacturers, I should say, because there's more than 6 cars. A couple of Corvettes in there as well. 15 minutes qualifying session. That's going to be in just a moment. We'll be kicking that things off. That will decide. This is very important because I feel that qualification could be probably the most important qualification we've had all season. Will decide where they begin in both the sprint and the main race. And now we'll be looking obviously the 15-minute sprint race. So we're starting. So for example, number 1, you get on pole position, you start in first place in the 15-minute race. However, when you get to the 45-minute race, you'll be starting in 10th because the top 10 reverses. Confusing, don't worry, we'll take you through it if this is your first time viewing. If it's not, well, welcome back once again, guys, because we have some fantastic action. And as you can see on that bottom line, and this is very important, Aidan, they have smaller fuel tanks, so they will need to pick when they pit and make sure they don't get blocked in those pits, because we've had that a few times.
Yeah, collision happens in rFactor 2, unlike some other sims on the market. We saw Risto Cap at Monza. Got a bit too leery with his right foot coming out the pit lane as he dumped the clutch to get out of his box and wiped off his rear wing. But it's a different layout to Indianapolis that we've seen in Formula Pro and Formula Challenge. They're not using the Indianapolis Grand Prix track, which is used by the Indy cars. They're using the road course, which I believe is used by the stock cars. So instead of having that turn 5-6 chicane that we've seen in the other series, they're going through that loop that was used by the top-level open wheelers, we shall say, but they're still going through this awesome snake bit section that was added a few years ago. We see Jene Simičić on an absolute blinder, is up and purple in the first, up and purple in the second, comes through the final corner, which just skips out the final bit of the banking. You do get a little bit of bankage on the exit, past that famous timing tower and across the yard of bricks to start another lap, but he's completed that lap and he's gone a little bit faster than he has before. And Simičić and Hoyer, front row lockout for Burst Esports right now, so that's going to bode well for Simičić. You can use Hoyer as a wingman. Yuri Toman currently in 24th position. He's coming up to the snake pit as well. Try not to hit that wall on the entry, because that can absolutely ruin your steering. He's on a personal best, not really troubling the front row as of yet, but we'll see what happens when he crosses the line. He hasn't yet set a lap. That's why he's down there in 24th position right now. He's a driver that should be up near the pointy end of the grid. Can he get ahead of Ibrahim Khan there in 6th place, driving for Rocket? He comes across the line, and it's only 13th for the Aston Martin.
He had a poor race at Spa, didn't he? Yuri Toman was one to forget, certainly for him, but the Ferraris absolutely delivering here, it seems, for Michi Hoyer and Jene Simičić, both putting out some fantastic laps so far. You can see Hoyer just on his out lap now to get things underway. Jakub Brzezinski up there, who had a magnificent race before, really improved his points overall. I am looking at sort of the championship contenders, and really I would say the top 6 probably is the maybe even the top 5. Maybe Ibrahim Khan could possibly come into it. We'll see, obviously, in that rocket car. He carries weight, though, doesn't he? He carries 10 kilograms extra, Khan does, as opposed to Simičić, who's currently the points leader. A pole position for him would be magnificent. Alex Siebel is a long way adrift at the moment, down in 8th place. He's got a little bit of work to do, certainly when it comes to the race, but we know he can do it. Yuri Toman, as you just pointed out a moment ago, a long way down in 13th position at the moment. Make that 14th as Andonovski tips him down just one more and slams on the handbrake as he goes. Oh, purple in the middle sector from Petr Briliak here. in the Corvette. We'll see whether he's able to lock that one down. Carrying on down the list, Dennis Jordan's also one to keep your eye out for. Has of yet not put in a strong time. As I say that, he literally goes over the line and gets himself 6th on the grid, so decent performance there. Marcel Chinchik, where is he currently residing? Down in 8th. So, I tell you what, they're all in the top 10 at the moment, apart from Yuri Toman. This is going to be a banger.
Yeah, the other thing is, because of the way that the track is different here, the tight left-hander at the end of the backstretch isn't as tight as it normally is. So really, your only proper out-braking zone is going to be turn 1. So if you can defend through turn 1, you should be okay for the rest of the lap. But if you make any mistakes coming out of that sort of infield section onto the backstretch, get the rear end out, pick up a track cut, get a penalty and things like that, it's going to be horrible. Here comes Kevin Siggy in the big red machine that is that BMW Team Redline car. It's personal best for him. He's 3rd on the grid.
Yeah, it's Risto Capit just knocked in there on 2nd as well. So Michio Hoya knocked down to 4th right now. That Burst Esports lockout has slipped away a bit. Nuno Pinto put him in a magnificent performance in the Porsche. When all the Porsches were struggling, Nuno Pinto was the only one that was able to deliver in the Fordzilla, wasn't he, in the top 10? Hanging on for a long time up there over in Spa. But here in Indianapolis, it does seem the Porsches are a little adrift. We'll see whether he can improve that time. I'm just trying to look for a top Porsche runner at the moment to see who actually is up there. Is
one of the Williams cars, won't it?
Yeah, I was just trying to think which Williams is in it. I think Wisniewski's in it, yeah, because Brzezinski is not in it. He's in a Corvette, right? Yeah, there we go. Oh, no, Pinto! Hello! 6th place. I take it back. The Porsches are looking great.
But yeah, the Porsches haven't been the car of choice this season. Yuri Toman pulling it up nicely in his Aston Martin GTE here. Bit of a drift on through that late apex right-hander that sets you up for the final run out of the what should be the banking. It would be cool if we were using the banking, but you know, Jimmy Allison picks these tracks, so we don't really have a say in that. Yuri Toman comes across the line, hugging that pit wall, 16th on the grid.
That's an improvement for Yuri Toman, but not the greatest. He still needs to really get up there. It looks like he's lacking a little bit in Indianapolis. Nikola Wisniewski, though, purple in the 1st sector. Speaking of the Porsches, he's knocked down to 11th place. Was in that top 10 a moment ago. We'll see whether he can keep it together through the 2nd sector here. Tight, twisty section, and that is an improvement. And he's looking very good here for the front row, if not the podium, because it's simply a case of getting flat out. Now, tight on the... Oh, as tight as the wallies you can get. That was tight. Oh, my word.
Good thing it's left-hand drive, isn't it? Because that's... you don't want to hit that concrete wall on the inside, but here he comes through the final corner, mashes that throttle to the floor, let the traction control do all the hard work if he has got it turned up. He's probably running it pretty low. Will Nikodem Wisniewski get that Williams Porsche onto pole position? It's 2nd. He's just off Yuri Simic on pole position, but that is going to be a good run into turn 1.
So the line, and we notice this in the BMWs, some of them are choosing to hug the right wall as past the pit straight, whereas the Corvettes have noticed they're just letting it bleed out as much as they can and just keeping it flat as far as they can. Peter Briliak's purple in that middle sector, only slightly though, has got a personal best in the 1st as well. Does look like he hasn't put in a decent time just yet, so this could be a much improved time for him as he goes flat out now. And I was talking about hugging the line. He is just going flat out. 18th is all he can muster.
Yeah, that's with the purple middle sector as well. So here comes Risto Capit in the R8G Corvette C7R. And we've got the C7 and the C8. Take your pick in chat as to which one looks nicer. I'm going to go with the C8, I think, and that is a fastest final sector for Risto Capit. He still maintains that 3rd on the grid.
Kevin Siggy may well improve here. Purple in the 1st, personal best in the 2nd, 4th already. So this could break into those podium positions. Maybe try and set themselves up here as he goes flat out in the BMW over the line. Is it an improvement? Yes. Gets himself up into 3rd, knocking Risto Capit down. And who is out on the track? That's the question, as 30 seconds remain in the qualifying. Yuri Simicic, this is not an improvement for him.
No, unless he can pull something out of the bag through here, get the absolutely mother of all launches. No, he's going to practice his pit stops by the looks of things. And here comes Nuno Pinto, slower in that middle sector, off his personal best by about 0.3 of a second. Just hits the apex nicely, a little bit of a wobble on the exit. And what's he going to do? Is he going to hug that inside? No, he's going to let it drift. No, he's going to bring it back in, take the shortest run to the line, and he's going to pull up.
So it does seem that the Astons have been the ones that struggled, hasn't it? Both Ibrahim Khan and Sincic both down in 10th and 11th. Yuri Toman, he needs a much improved time, doesn't he? He has definitely been struggling 17th, currently 3rd in the championship on 756 points, just 12 adrift from Jurni Simicic in the lead right now. But Simicic holding that podium position. This is going to have to be an almighty time to improve that, and I don't look like it's going to be an improvement. Maybe can he get close to that top 10? 13th may well do. We'll see how the racing goes. If he can break into that top 10, anything can go.
Yeah, so Ibrahim Khan holds on to 10th position there. There is your grid, and look at that gap between Wisniewski and Simicic. So Simicic is sort of a third of the way there to securing the championship for Burst Esports, but we've still got 2 races ahead. Kevin Siggy will be one to look out for. Just look at that 1,000th between the Williams and Redline Esports cars. Risto Kappa in 4th, good performance from him. Timotej Andonovski, a very good performance from him in 5th. Michi Hoyer takes 6th. It wasn't quite the Burst front row that Burst were hoping for in chat. Jakub Brzezinski takes 7th, Nuno Pinto in 8th, and Dennis Jordan is in 9th, and Ibrahim Khan there in 10th, so he will start for pole at 12 years to the day that team founder Jenson Button won the World Championship.
Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? I think the big important one for me there is that Dennis Jordan's on 9th at the moment. So look at these points. Jurni Simicic stopped 767. Siebel on 763. A little bit out of it there. But Dennis Jordan, now this is important because he's 9th on the grid, which means in the sprint race he'll be starting in 9th. But in the main race, he'll be starting in 2nd. That could be a real chance because Dennis doesn't tend to give up that lead once he gets a hold of it. So you can see 1 out in Spa did very well there. So a real challenge. Simicic he's got to do well here, I feel, because he's going to be racing from that 10th place in the main race. Lots of action still to come. Kevin Siggy, of course, as we just saw there, catching that 3rd position as well. So he's in a chance. We'll see how it works out. He's got a lot of work to do to gain the points on the likes of Simicic and co, but he can certainly improve his championship position.
Yeah, Simicic will want to win this race. He's got 15 minutes around Indianapolis. Siebel is sniffing at his heels, or chopping away at his heels. I forget how the phrase is. There's just 4 points between them. So Simicic wants to get one hand on that trophy. He's got to win this race, but anything can happen, and it usually does, as they used to say.
Well, I mean, in theory, with Toman down in, 13th, Siebel's a little adrift as well. I wouldn't say he's that far out, but I would say Siebel and Jordan are the real contenders at the moment. Further down the field, as you can see, these places are important because the bottom 5 are automatically relegated. And then I believe it's 20th down to 25th, or maybe 21st down to 25th, is going to be going into the promotion relegations with the GT Challenge drivers. It's 6th to 10th in the GT Challenge, isn't it? That will be having basically a 10 driver shootout over 3 different tracks. Very entertaining stuff if you've never watched that before, by the way, to see which 5 drivers will requalify back for the GT Pro Season 4, whenever that may be in the new year.
Yeah, I've just had confirmation on the Discord that we run the live feed to us so we can commentate over it. This is the final round of the season. It will not count as a drop round. So if you have a terrible race, that's it. It won't count. So points mean prizes quite literally at this final round.
So there is no drop round at Indianapolis. That is mega. So it's literally say what you see on the track, leave it all out there, do what you can. Lots on the line, and the man on pole position, Jurni Simicic, he's kept his car covered. He doesn't even care. He's just got ready to go. Nikita Wisniewski in 2nd. Down in 3rd was Siggy, and 4th place, Risto Kapit. There you go. They took the covers off the cars. They're ready to go. But yes, Kevin Siggy, congratulations to him, obviously winning in his 6-hour sprint with red line the other day. Andonovski, 5th place for him. Michi Hoyer, 6th in the Burst Esports. In the end, slipped down a little bit. Jakub Brzezinski, let's see what he can do. Had a fantastic performance for 4. Nuno Pinto in the Porsche in 8th. Dennis Jordan in 9th place. Ibrahim Khan in 10th. Also a points challenger. Sinchik in 11th. Alex Siebel in 12th. My word, look at that. All of those guys, that is 4 drivers in the top 6 altogether. Then Chiara in 13th. Yuri Toman, oh man, he's a long way down in 14th in the end. Ravio in 15th there. And 16th place, I miss, apologies. Kasper Stolz down in 17th position. Peter Briliak for Williams in 18th. Pierre Pev down in 19th in that Porsche, unable to get it working for him. And Dan Rocek for Burst down in 20th. Yuri Kastorp a long way down for Red Bull in 21st. Ferris Stanley in 22nd for the Zancho Rocket Esports. Matt Richards has turned up. And he's in the 23rd in the end. 24th and missed, I think that was Cito Vaya, wasn't it? Jordi Spheres in 25th in the end there, and Kapamarch in 26th. And rounding out the grid, Kevin Rotting for TX3 down in 27th position. There is, I think it's Siebel, it's Jordan, it's Sinchik and Ibrahim Khan, which is 4 drivers within the top 6 of the points, all clustered together from sort of like 8th down to 12th, aren't they? That is a tasty, feisty area of the circuit to be on.
Yeah, strap yourselves in because this is going to be an epic couple of races. The field's got a bit of a gap in it, sort of around 10th, 11th, 12th or so. So they'll have to bunch back up. So when is Jone Simičić going to dump that speed limiter and absolutely yeet it towards turn 1? Hopefully he can get that lead into turn 1 and hold on to it, but he's going to have Wisniewski, Siggy and Capit looking at him. And I think we're away. We are away.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The green flag drops and we're away on the sprint race, and they are immediately all swinging for position, but it's Simičić that's got himself well in the lead, looking great, but look at the pressure already on Wisniewski. Risto Capit squeezing up alongside him. Kevin Siggy having to get his elbow out as well. You can see the Ferrari of Andonovski up into 5th place. What a move from him. Nuno Pinto hanging on to that 6th place, and I can see Alex Siebel has slipped down. Dennis Jordan as well, down to 11th. It's Ibrahim Khan that snuck his way past them all up into 9th. What a great start for that man from Rocket. He's used it like a rocket. And look at Chinchik. He's down to 14th. He slipped all the way back there. Yuri Toma's got past him up into 13th. A disastrous start for him. The Suvaga Sim Racer's got a lot of work to do. But the main man up front is Jone Simičić, the points championship leader in the sprint. And he has to make this count.
Yeah, you can see the movers and shakers there on the left-hand side of your screens. We're on board now with Nuno Pinto in that Porsche, chasing the Ferrari of Timotej Andonovski. That's Nita Velik's car, looking mighty fine in those colours, I must say. As we look back now to the train that has formed behind him, that is Michi Hoyer in the Ferrari in behind. So Michi Hoyer wants to get up as far as he possibly can to try and help his teammate Jone Simičić, who has just over half a second lead as we end the first lap.
Now, we obviously, if you joined us for the BMW Sim M2 CS Racing Cup, you would see coming into turn 1, yes, it can kind of work for you on the outside if you can get the elbows out. Now, it's a little different in the GTEs to sort of coming in, getting your elbows out like we saw Yayovsky doing. Might not quite work out so well for you in these GTEs. Looking at the little dive there from Michi Hoyer, just having a peek up the inside, as well as Jakub Brzezinski behind him, having a little look as well. And Ibrahim Khan looking to improve his points overall. But as of now, it looks like things are going to settle down. So now we can start to look at the movers and shakers and see how this is all going to work out for them.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get a replay of some of what happened from our broadcast director, Ruben Carrera-Alves, who's probably queuing up an epic slow-mo as we speak, as we see Dennis Jordan, Alex Siebel there. That will be Alex Siebel that we're on board with now. That's Ibrahim Khan's car ahead, up there into 9th. So he's made up 1 position, but he will start the next race from pole position, whatever happens, as they come through the slightly faster left-hander compared to the tight left-hander that we used in Formula Pro and Formula Challenge. And then the snaky section, and then this right-hander here, you can cut that quite a bit without picking up a cut track, but if you do overdo it, you obviously will get a cut track. Too many of those, and you're taking a trip down the pit lane, which is suboptimal when you're fighting for a championship. If you're someone like Jone Simičić. As we go on board now with Risto Capit, you can see all the other cars in that sort of TV screen at the bottom. Goes to the left, so he's on the racing line. Will have a little bit more grip on the brakes into turn 1. That's Jone Simicic's car ahead, as Risto Capit then has to swing around the outside, but then he's got the inside for turn 2, and then he's in front of that Porsche, and now he's only got Jone Simicic ahead of him.
Yeah, it's a beautiful start from Risto Capit. Worked out well there. Obviously lost out that second place in just the last few moments, didn't he, in the qualifying. This is Chinchik. So what went wrong for Chinchik further down the field here? He lost 3 places, right? He got on the inside and just got basically caught in the clutter and just gets pushed out here. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, onto the gravel. You could see that coming. There were 2-3 wide there. He was only ever going to get pushed out on the inside and bruised and battered all the way through there. I think we're seeing exactly what happened to the Red Bull driver as well further down, just getting bumped about a little bit.
Yeah, it's biffing and barging, turn 1, turn 2 stuff. People trying to find their way forward as quickly as they can, because only the top 15 get points in the sprint race. So if you want to get some points, you've got to get forward, and some people just try to do it all too soon. So that's not a very good start for Yuri Toman.
Yeah, he's a long way down, there's no doubt. Michi Hoya, let's see what he can put together. Trying to challenge out. Obviously, we know he was fast in qualifying, but did just lose out a couple of places in that Ferrari, of course. Probably, I would suspect, I mean, obviously these guys obviously like to run their own setups, but I'm pretty sure they'd be running a very similar setup to Jone Simicic. You know, they're both in the same team, so they would be sharing information to try and set themselves up. But at the moment, it's working well for Simicic. Michi Hoya in 7th, looking to see if he can improve. But that Porsche of Nuno Pinto, who's been doing very well in the last 2 races, is really putting up a bit of a show in the single Fordzilla car.
Yeah, the Porsche seems to be doing a bit better today than it did at Spa, but then we said, oh, the Porsche is going to be awful at Spa, and then he was in 2nd position for quite a bit of it. Yeah. So just shocking everybody with the performance in that thing. So fair play to Nuno, keeping Michi Hoya, who is a very fast driver in his own right, behind him. Missed the apex, the car ahead getting a bit of a slide on, but just a quarter of a second between Hoya and Brzezinski. So while Hoya's chasing down Pinto, he's got to keep an eye out for that fast moving Williams behind him.
Yeah, Jakub Brzezinski has certainly made work in the past. It's a tight swing, isn't it? I love watching these cars go through that. I mean, it's not as fun to drive, I would say, as it is to watch. I think it's safe to say throughout that twisty section there, because all you want to do is just obviously level out as straight as you can and floor it. Not always the case. Ferris Stanley under challenge down the back of the grid here with another Burst Esports driver, and looks like Ferris, it looks like David Rocek, is just going to lose out in the end there. Good luck of the Brad, good catch the brakes. Ferris Stanley there, so he didn't catch the other cars, but that puts him down to the back of the grid.
Yeah, just got biffed offline, and the rear end overtook the front. Easy to do. And there's Ibrahim Khan's Rocket Simsport car chasing down Brzezinski. In 8th, ahead of that is Michi Hoya. So there is a train forming. It just looks like they're not able to get enough of a slipstream down that front stretch over the start-finish line, and then to get the outbraking manoeuvre done into turn 1. So it's kind of a tame race so far. But with so many, with some of these drivers in with a shot of winning the championship, I think they just want to keep it on the road, bag some points, and then go for it over the 45 minutes. Where, like you say, they've got to do a refueling stop. Maybe take tyres as well. They probably will take tyres, because this bit here just murders the fronts. So they can probably just out-strategize other drivers and try and get it done in the pit lane, because it's proving pretty difficult to do it on track.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be that way. Obviously, these cars pretty darn fast. That's what you were talking about, where you can make a pretty hefty cut. I think we saw about 3 or 4 cars doing just that. I was watching Jone Simicic, actually. He was playing it very safe, I would say, through the curves, but he's keeping himself very much a healthy lead on Risto Capit, as well as Nikodem Wisniewski. So that pair, by the way, pulling away quite considerably, already got themselves a 2-second gap over Nikodem. Kevin Siggy happy to keep in station. Jakub Brzezinski, he made some great waves in Spa, certainly did very well, but at the moment down in 8th position. Ibrahim Khan very much on his tail. Ibrahim Khan, of course, currently 6th in the championship overall. Jakob down in 10th position, as I say, got himself, I think, was he 2nd or 3rd? He was 2nd, wasn't he, in Spa before a bit of biffing. That's what that was. That is Chinchik that's just ahead of him, isn't it? Yeah, it's Stoltz just having a peek in the inside on the Jean Lacey.
15th. So you'll score 1 point for this race, back up towards the sort of battle for 6th, 7th, 8th, with Nuno Pinto heading this massive train that's just coming out onto the back straight now. And we get a replay here. This will probably be what we've just seen. Kasper Stoltz trying to get past Marcel Chinchik. Did he turn in on him, and then the contact just sent him wide? So just misjudged his turn in there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Chinchik, he was pretty much keeping his line. Certainly didn't make any moves, so it's just Stoltz just misreading the situation. I think turning a little too early. Michi Hoyer under pressure. Jakub Brzezinski is definitely on his tail right now, looking to make a move, and that Ferrari looking a little squirrely as he tries to defend. He's got Nuno Pinto just ahead of him, who does seem to be a bit of a head of a snake here, effectively. As the car in front is a second drift, and you can see Michi Hoyer now closing in as that toe kicks in. Is he going to try and squeeze up the inside? It's about as close as he dares. Now let's see whether it can stick, because the outside generally works better here. Oh, that Porsche getting very wobbly on the braking.
Might want to shift your brake balance forward a couple of clicks, Nuno, because that almost went wrong for you. Great car control. Michi Hoyer not able to get by into turn 1 on this occasion, maybe on the next lap, but you have got the likes of Kuba Brzezinski and Ibrahim Khan still looking there as well. So if those two come into contact with each other, then Brzezinski and Khan will be looking to get another position. But there is Alex Siebel in 10th position. He needs to start making waves if he wants to try and stop Yone Simičić from winning the title tonight.
That was a really nice exit from Brzezinski. He's very much in challenging position on Michi Hoyer there. Oh, a bit heavier on the brakes. He had to be, because he considered a move, but it's not really the position to make it. He's got to be careful. Ibrahim Khan is closing in behind as well. This is a replay of Jakub Brzezinski watching how Nuno's Porsche is going to get very wobbly under braking.
It's a bit of a wag of the tail of the Porsche.
Oh, he
a little bit of contact there.
Yeah, he almost squeezes. I mean, I don't think he had much choice in that. Michi Hoyer was obviously having to go heavy under braking once again to avoid contact with Nuno, who was squilling in there. But Jakob's definitely trying to get past Michi Hoyer here. Let's see. Once again, the toe's going to kick in, Aiden, into turn 1.
Here it is. There's Michi Hoyer. He's up the back of the Porsche. He's getting ever so slightly closer. This is going to be a send and a half if he wants to pull this off.
Yeah,
no, backs out of it. Ooh, a bit deep there from Pinto, but he's covered off turn 2 okay, and then he's going to hug the inside for 3. But Michi Hoyer's going to want to have another sniff into 4, but nope, still no gap. Michi Hoyer, quite a smart driver. He's not going to try and just launch it into any gap that exists. He'll find the way, well, the best way to get through, having more sniffs, but that's just bringing Brzezinski into things, and Brzezinski might want to have another sniff into the next left-hander after this back stretch, but the braking zone just isn't big enough to do an out-braking manoeuvre. It's quite quick in the grand scheme of things.
Well, 3 minutes to go. It's kind of bringing everyone into it. There's a snake forming behind Nuno here. I think that's Andonovski, isn't it, just ahead of him, but look how close everyone is now behind. As they've tried these last couple of maneuvers, it's really brought everybody into check. Any mistake, and well, you may well lose 1 or 2 or maybe 3 positions, as you could suddenly find yourself on the wrong part of the apex. Once again, I tell you what, that Porsche, he might want to settle those brakes. Maybe that's just how he likes to drive. That's Brzezinski getting very tight to Hoyer as they once again. Now they want to be going flat out. This is where you want to get on the toe. And Michi Hoyer looks very close to Pinto this time.
Yeah, this is probably the best opportunity he's had all race. Gets super duper close. He's now pretty much alongside, so Pinto will need to give him space into turn 1. Hoyer sends it up the inside. Let's see on the curb a little bit. But Pinto's going to have the inside for 2. And here comes Brzezinski. Brzezinski has got past Hoyer in all of that.
Oh, he's going to do the other one. Is he going to get... No, I thought he was going to squeeze it up the inside of Nuno as well. A great maneuver from Jakob, just stealing out the 7th place from Michi Hoyer there with just 2 minutes to go. There's really only going to be 1 or 2 laps to go here. But a really nice move there, watching it all play out. And that's what I was talking about. You've got to be careful here, because look at them all behind. Any mistake, and you're going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. If you go off that circuit, you're done. You're going to suddenly find yourself 7 places back. Now, Jakob Brzezinski, who's been chasing and watching Michi Hoyer trying to get it done, he's got around about 2 chances, I would say, to get this done on Nuno, to see if he can squeeze his way up into 5th.
Yeah, he's been very, very close coming out of that final left-hander. So if he can get a decent run, here it is on board. There's Michi Hoyer on the right, trying to outbrake Pinto. Pinto carries it deeper into turn 1, carries that little bit extra more speed, has the inside for 2. And then Brzezinski just goes, oh, sorry, Michi, was that your position? That's mine now. I think Michi Hoyer actually got it onto the grass on the exit, so that's probably what did it for the Williams driver.
So here we go again, and now Brzezinski's in a great spot. He should have the power, I feel, over that Porsche. Oh, hello! Kevin Siggy getting it done as well, and Nikitin Wisniewski, that could be a podium position stolen away, and Siggy absolutely gets it done. Has he outbraked himself? Jakob Brzezinski's going to do the same, gets it done just before the corner. Very tight there. 2 fantastic overtakes, but are effectively on the penultimate lap.
Yeah, 40 seconds on the clock, so this will be...
I think it may be the final one. I think so, yeah. I'm just trying to look how far up the field they are.
It's a slightly longer lap because we're not using the chicane that was just off to the left of Michi Hoyer on shot there. So, yeah, this will be the final lap. So, Simic on course to win by just over half a second. But anything can happen in this final sector because that Porsche is starting to get more and more tail happy through every corner it goes through.
Yeah, a little worrisome for perhaps the 45-minute race as well. But here in the sprint race, it's took a while for action to kick off, but it's definitely kicking off now, and it's showing good signs for the main race in just a few moments' time. Nuno Pinto, under pressure for the last few laps, has, it seems, staved off Michi Hoyer. We'll see whether he's able to simply out-drag him, but it will be Jurni Simicic here. The man from Burst Esports, the championship leader right now in the Ferrari, working wonders, got himself on pole, and it looks like he will be the winner in the sprint. He needed the points here. He's going to be starting out on 10th place in the main race. Aristo Capon, after a great start from him, he got up from 3rd into 2nd place, and Kevin Siggy as well with that great overtake, rounding out the podium. Nikitin Wisniewski 4th, Andonovski in 5th, Brzezinski down in 6th. Nuno Pinto does hang on to that 7th position as well. Let's have a little replay. This is Kevin Siggy getting it done on Wisniewski.
Yeah, so Wisniewski just dropped it on the grass coming through the second to last corner, so Siggy just had the better drive. And that'll probably be one of the easiest overtakes Kevin Siggy will ever make.
Just flat out Porsche power versus BMW. And as you say, just that little dip onto the grass, and there's the overtake. You can see in the distance, actually, you can just see Siggy getting it done there, and they're hard on the brakes from that Porsche, but Brzezinski just a little dunk. That's Nuno Pinto just trying to turn into the back end, and that Corvette's not going to worry about a Porsche tapping it, is it? A big back end. But here's confirmation of the top 10. Alex Siebel did manage to squeeze his way into that 10th position, but not the race that I think the Red Bull drivers were both looking up there. Ibrahim Khan, of course, also down in 9th, putting in a good chase maybe on the championship, but at the moment Jurni Simicic, that number 1 position is absolutely key, kicking himself in, getting in the maximum points for the first race. Absolutely what he needs. I think it's 95 points, isn't it, for first place overall, to add to his 767. I can't read. He'd already got a 4 points lead over Alex Siebel. That will now stretch quite considerably, but starting from 10th, Aiden, that's going to be hard work.
Yeah, he's probably just going to have to keep it nice and simple, keep out of trouble, don't get into any stupid fights. If people are going to try and launch in, let them go. And my maths isn't the best, but I'd be saying that all Jurni Simicic has to do, really, is just finish ahead of Alex Siebel, and that's it. Title confirmed. So I have an interesting 45 minutes ahead as the drivers bring their cars back into the pit lane, and then we go again for the final race of the season. We only had one non-finish. That was Ferris Stanley for Zancho. That'll probably been a result of the bit of the nerf he got from Davim Rocek, but if he wants to report that, that'll be down to him. We can't really judge because we weren't sitting on board with him when it happened, so whatever will be with that one. But final race of the season within 5 minutes. This season has flown by.
Yeah, so what is it? It's 10th place. You get 81 points for 10th, which is where Siebel finished out, as opposed to the 95. Also, I should point out it's 84 11th. Now, that's important because Dennis Jordan, who was sitting in 4th place, I think it was 12 points behind, wasn't he, in total? So he's now finds himself a lot more behind because those maths goes on there. He will be starting in 2nd place on the grid because now we're into the main race. The top 10 from qualifying will reverse, which means 10th place will be starting on the pole position. Yuri Simicic, who was on pole position, will now be starting in 10th and has that work to do. So, if I'm not mistaken, I think Siebel is 11th, wasn't he? In which case he'll be starting directly behind Yuri Simicic, whereas Dennis Jordan in 2nd place will have a shot at trying to chase. So, I mean, if Siebel can challenge on Simicic early on and try and keep him away from Dennis Jordan, I don't know. I mean, the two Red Bull drivers have got a lot of work to do after getting 10th and 11th in that race, no doubt about it.
Yeah, starting behind Simicic, it'll be an interesting run into turn 1. If Siebel can get ahead, that might help him, but will he be willing to get aggressive at turn 1? That's the thing. It's going to be like one of those things that we won't know what happens until we actually see it happen, but it's going to be an exciting final race. And we had Siebel in with a shot and Dennis Jordan in with a shot as well last season. We had the 4 Germans at the top of the table last season. It was von der Heide, Siebel, Jordan and Hoyer. That was a great finale to watch as well. So Indianapolis usually just throw up some great races right at the end of the season. Hopefully for the last race of this season, season 4, it will be sort of the same as always.
I'm just doing my math. I'm trying to do my math while you were talking. I'm trying to get it all done. Let's see. Okay. Oh, my math, and I'm removing Yuri Toman from this because I don't think he's possible. Chinchik, no, maybe not. I don't know.
He did the ball to not finish.
Yeah. So at the moment, my math calculated with that win, Yuri Simicic is on 8.62. Alex Siebel is on 8.44 and Dennis Jordan is on 8.34. So Simicic has a pretty hefty cushion, I would say. Now, in terms of main race points, you're looking at 110 points for a win, down to 10th place, where Simicic starts right now, which is 96. So the gap of only 14 points between them, even if Simicic was to finish in 10th where he starts and Dennis Jordan were to get pole, Simicic would still win. So he needs, I guess, if anything, he needs Simicic to have a moment. I think it was. I think it's basically within Simicic's hands right now to play safe, drive safe, keep yourself out of the craziness of turn 1. Turn 1, 2, 3, 4, just technically on Indianapolis. Keep yourself out of the craziness, which, if you remember, we saw Chinchik get rattled in. I think the best part is go on the outside on the racing line and don't be on that inside on the first corner, because it could put you in a dangerous position by the time you hit turn 2, because you could find yourself being pushed out to that grass. Yeah,
it's not a nice place to be on the outside of turn 2, having to flip the car around and then catch up to the back of the pack. So here we go. We are cutting to, I think this will probably be to the warm-up. We've got just under 2 minutes remaining on board with Timotej Adonowski. Coming through the infield section onto the backstretch. That can be somewhere where you can pick up track limit warnings. Not what you want to pick up. It's actually pretty difficult to pick them up here. It's really only the exit of that corner we saw Adonowski coming through, and also the that corner I said in the first race that you can cut quite a bit. So we shouldn't see that many penalties, and if there are any penalties, most likely it'll be for pit lane speeding, as we've seen in the other series. So we should see all the cars running, hopefully, and hopefully no crashes, because it's not as hectic and frantic in the sprint or the feature races now, because with the strategy thrown in with pit stops and stuff. So you don't need to be as aggressive to try and get to the front in the feature races you do in the sprint. So Kasper Stolzer comes round briefly onto the oval, hard on the brakes into the other sort of infield section. call it the snake pit apparently, that late apex left-hander, and then you just got to get the power down and then round that final corner. So they're just testing where the car is, how it's handling. They're on sort of low fuel for the first race. Now they're going to be on heavier fuel. Could be worth an extra sort of second or so per lap. Yuri Toman now. This is a good section when the tyres are holding on, but when they start to wear, it's awful as he escapes back to the pit lane. So 25 seconds remaining. I can't wait for this. It's going to be great. Yeah,
and if you think you mind back to Spa just 2 weeks ago, we saw some cars handle the fuel better than others, especially when it comes to obviously the big long straights and carry the fuel better. We'll see if it works out that way. It also looked like potentially those Porsche tyres were struggling the 15-minute mark. So as we approach, the halfway mark of like the 20-25 minutes when we're looking at those first pit stops, it'd be interesting to see who goes in early, who goes in late. Of course, as we mentioned, these cars have purposely been given smaller fuel tanks, so they will have to make pit stops. We'll probably see tyre changes within there as well. So lots and lots to keep your eyes on. This is not a done deal yet. However, Yerny Simicic is looking in a good spot. Ibrahim Khan starting out on the pole position. Dennis Jordan up behind him in second. Nuno Pinto in that Porsche. Could be backing them up here. And Jakub Brzezinski in fourth place as well, who made that move earlier on. Mitchell Hoyer in fifth. In Andonovski down in sixth. Risto Capit in seventh, who got himself second in the sprint race. And Kevin Sigi, who finished third on the podium. Eighth place for him. Wisniewski in ninth. And there is Yerny Simicic starting out in 10th with the reverse grid. He has Shinchik up behind him and Alex Siebel all in there. Some real points contesters. It's going to be scary stuff for Simicic at the start. Shara in 13th, Yuri Toma down in 14th, Ravio in 15th, and Luca D'Amelio in 16th. Toman's championship hopes slipping away here. Kasper Stoltz in 17th, Peter Briliak in 18th, Peo Pev down in 19th, and Dan Rocek down in 20th position for the Burst Esports driver. And Yuri Kastorp in that Red Bull down in 21st position for him. Matt Richards in 22nd, Sidovaya in 23rd, and Jordi Spheres down in 24th place. And rounding out the grid is Luis Felipe Capamagian in 25th, and Kevin Rotting for TX3 down in 26th position. So, cars to keep your eyes on throughout this. Well, obviously, if you're a fan of any driver out there, certainly you want to keep your eyes on them. But in terms of championship points, Yerny Simicic 862, Kevin Siebel 844, Dennis Jordan 834. They are the ones to watch. And let's not forget about Ibrahim Khan standing out on the front of the grid. I'll maybe tot his points up. I tell you what, this is going to be tight.
Yeah, it's going to be made even more interesting because Siebel will be starting this race staring at the diffuser of Simicic's car. So Ibrahim Khan just leading them through into the final sector now. Grandstands on the left. The iconic Indianapolis oval course. Would be cool if they were running on the oval. That'd be great just to see who's got the highest top speed. And there's Michi Hoyer staring at the Porsche rear end once again. Couldn't get past last time. Can he get past this time? And there's Wisniewski as well. Kevin Rotting, who is bringing up the rear of the field. Just 26 drivers of the 30 that we should have. So have some no-shows and things like that. He's right at the back. So starting 2x2, rolling start, as you see in GTs, IndyCar, stock cars, and away they go.
So let's see who can come out on top as Ibrahim Khan will lead the pack, and Dennis Jordan, one of the championship hopefuls, has to see if he can get it done. 3, 4 wide. Oh, Dennis Jordan going very defensive, but that's put him right out of position. Look at this. They are all coming through. Nuno Pinto challenging for that front spot. And it's managed to get it in there, Ibrahim Khan. But Dennis Jordan's made a howler. He's gone down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down to 6th position from second. A disaster for him. Yellow's in the first sector, so somebody's certainly gone off the track as well. I'm looking further down. Simicic has dropped to 14th on that start, so a very risky start for him. Kevin Siebel has got it done. Siggy's passed down to 11th as well. He's fallen down a couple of places. Yuri Toman's got past him. So at the moment, Simicic posted by those two Varga sim racing drivers. Not a good start for any championship hopeful, apart from, I was going to say Siebel, but not even him.
It's all kick. I'm looking at two different screens. I've got rFactor up on one screen, the actual stream that's going to you live on YouTube and Twitch and all that stuff on the other screen. And I'm just seeing drivers just go up and down, and looking at trying to see what's going on in the background, but you saw that battle between Capit and Brzezinski. Brzezinski's maintained the lead, so that was all kicking off between them. You had Pinto and Khan up ahead. I think Ibrahim Khan saw Pinto and was probably shouting at his computer screen because he's a guy that does not like being overtaken. And he's maintained the lead at the end of the first lap. But Khan and Pinto, you can see the movers and shakers there on the other side of your screen. That's CeeLo via being overtaken. Jordy's Veers has just dropped to the rear of the field. That's why the yellows are out in Sector 3. So, Ruben, if you've got the replays, can we please see them so we can understand what happened?
Yeah, that was absolute chaos. Dennis Jordan needs to get involved because he's lost 4 places from that start. And with the way Simic has gone, I got to be honest, if you drop down that many places, you know...
Oh, here we go, 3 wide into 4.
Khan's getting challenged once again. Will be on the inside, though, so should be able to get it done. But this is opening up for Michi Hoyer, who might be able to follow through. And Ibrahim Khan, Nuno Pinto's not backing out here. He's sticking in there. Will have the inside line, and he might be able to get it done. That's a 10-kilogram extra for Ibrahim Khan as he carries on in the inside. But look at that. Because the front 2 are bad challenging, it's bringing everybody into the battle.
I think Michi Hoyer is going to want to get to that. He's making a challenge on Pinto, a bit of contact. Luckily, that outside curb was there. Otherwise, Hoyer would have been on the grass while on the brakes, and that would not have ended in a good way at all. As we look back now, this is Nikodem Wisniewski following Dennis Jordan's C8 round through the back on towards the little portion of the oval that they do drive on. But look at the gaps between them. There is nothing in it. Khan's got about half a second, so he's got something. So hopefully... Well, I say hopefully for him anyway, because he's going to be thinking, please let Michi Hoyer start battling with Nuno Pinto so I can pull a gap.
Simincic has dropped off 14th as well. Kasper Stoltz has passed him. I'm really concerned as he's dropped off that main telegram at the side. Now, in terms of points differential, it's 18 points Siebel is behind and 28 that Dennis Jordan's behind. So it really needs to be almost a DNF, I would say. Ibrahim Khan once again under pressure, but Nuno Pinto around the outside should be able to get it done this time, I feel. I think he will have it done as he comes around the inside. Yes, he does. Gets ahead of Ibrahim Khan and Nuno Pinto, the Porsche that can, absolutely getting it done. We saw him putting the work in before, but Ibrahim Khan is not giving up.
This is a guy that does not like losing. Ibrahim Khan's going to have to be careful because there was a little bit of contact on the rear, and Michi Hoyer's going to try and make it through the gap that's just presented itself. More contact. Mitch is going to have to back out, otherwise they're both going round. And now you can see the scratch marks and the dents and the scrapes on the front of that Aston Martin and on the rear of the Porsche. Ibrahim Khan's probably now just going to have to settle for second now.
Marcel Cinchik just having a little peek as well up on Wisniewski. Now you can see
Brzezinski.
Wisniewski having a little put. Jakub Brzezinski trying to get past Michi Hoyer. He did it before in the sprint race and looking to do it again. I saw 2 side by side as well just behind them. I couldn't see who it was. It is Andonovski and Marcel Cinchik just side by side as they come into the corner. The tight right hander should be Andonovski's here, but he's going to be bumping that curb. No, he takes it about as wide as he dares, but Cinchik is not backing out. They are side by side and Cinchik gets it done.
I said they were going to be a little bit calmer at this race. Maybe I should not say anything because I say something and then the opposite happens. As we see Simincic down there in 16th, I've got his onboard camera up on my other screen. It doesn't look like he's got any suspension or steering damage, so it looks like he's just been nerfed at some point and been sent right down the back. But where is Alex Siebel right now? He's in 12th, so it should still be safe for Simincic. If he gets caught up in one of these battles, he could end up off again, and that could really ruin his championship chances.
Honestly, I think all he's doing is just playing it as safe as he can. He knows he has such a huge lead that he doesn't need to be in here battling like these are, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide as they come into the first corner, and then it's just like, oh my god, you don't want to be in this position. I got to be honest, Risto Capi did very well to hang on in there. We saw who was it lost out in so many places in that exact same corner, sent onto the grass, managed to hang on. But look at this. Is that Shara? Just Shara up on the left-hand side, or is it Pev? I think it's Shara that's in there. So Simincic, yeah, just being really cautious. You can see he's in the middle, so doesn't want to get clipped, doesn't want to get sandwiched. He just played it calmly. You can see he's really not flat out at all. He was just like gently going, TX3 getting biffed off there.
So he didn't get taken off, so he was just being
he's in the middle of that. There he is.
It's just like, there you go. Bye.
They're just super cautious. That's all he is. He's just being super cautious. No problems, no nothing. It's just making sure he can finish the race.
Yeah, we've lost Jordi's fears after all of that, so we'll try and find out what happened to him. But out front, Nuno Pinto has half a second over Ibrahim Khan. Michi Hoyer in hot pursuit, looking back from Ibrahim Khan's car right now. And it looks like Michi Hoyer has made that move stick into turn 1.
Yeah, got it done before the corner. So really nicely done from Michi Hoyer. Now he's in this very much similar situation that he was in the sprint race on the back of Nuno Pinto and Jakub Brzezinski. He's not going to want to hang around here. He's a driver that absolutely can and will look to make a move on Ibrahim Khan now that Michi Hoyer's got it done, and he's going to try and find any advantage that he can, knowing that Nuno Pinto, by the way, will slowly be backing these guys up a little bit at the moment because they've been battling so hard. Slowly but surely are starting to spread out. You can see how tight the pack is in terms of timing. Just 5 seconds between, well, the front 15 at the moment. So they are still very much in snake formation, even 8 minutes in.
Yeah, I can see Ibrahim Khan losing another spot to Brzezinski into turn 1. I think that weight is starting to come back to haunt him, because with the heavy fuel as well. Here is Kasper Stolzer up the inside. This will be on David Mrocek. Hits the inside curve, all nicely under control. Does he get served up at any point?
No, that's Simičić. That's Simičić.
Oh, sorry, Simičić. Yeah, sorry.
I was thinking
of Jordi's fears. Oh, deja vu. So yeah, he's just letting him go through. His Yuri Kazdorp's view of the proceedings.
And Kazdorp just follows on through. He's like, okay, if you're going to give up that inside, I will take that exact same position. Zunk! Straight up the inside.
What a move. Styling it out on TV there. Simičić currently in, where is he? Still 16th, so he's just hanging on there behind Yuri Kazdorp. Siebel's in 12th.
Hello?
What was that?
Nuno Pinto has lost the lead. Michi Hoyer now in the lead. The Burst Esports driver's got it done while we're in that replay. As has Jakub Brzezinski. He's managed to get past Ibrahim Khan, it looked like, as well. So this is going to be simply a case of doing what he couldn't in the sprint race. And look at Jakub Brzezinski doing the exact same behind him. So both in turn 1 getting it done.
Yeah, Kappa got by Khan as well. So Khan down to 5th. Jordan now in hot pursuit. Wisniewski as well. So yeah, the 10 kilos on that Aston Martin not helping Ibrahim Khan at the minute, but we'll see what happens when the pit stop cycle through. Who will go long, who will go short, who will do whatever. So that it throws up the extra strategy element to things. So hopefully now we're about 10 minutes into the race. Things will calm down a little bit, and then it will start to filter around to the pit stops and see who can pull off a strategy sort of masterstroke here. You'd think the Burst will be preparing one to get Simičić back up as far as they possibly can. I think Simičić is just going to settle, just keep it on the road, because the distance between him and Siebel isn't enough for Siebel to take the championship at the last race.
Yeah, and Dennis Jordan's still sitting in 6th. If he was challenging for first, then may well be, but we'll see how it works out. That's going to be Jakub Brzezinski getting it done. Very nice move on Nuno Pinto this time around. No hanging about. And Michi Hoyer, who's trying to stretch his lead, I feel he's going to get chased down here. So Nuno Pinto kind of defenseless in that move, it seemed, on as Jakub. So really nice done. I really love Brzezinski as a driver in terms of his racecraft. Has some fantastic overtakes there. Yeah, Yuri Simičić, honestly, he's playing it safe. There's no reason to be challenging. He's not under points contention, really, by anybody. He needed... if Dennis Jordan and Siebel were doing really well, then maybe the pressure would be on him. But at the moment, he can just do his own thing and keep himself safe.
This is on board with Siebel into the left-hander at the end of the back stretch, and then through the S's, able to cut a little bit of the grass at the same time. And here's that right-hander. Look at how much they can take. A lot of the concrete on the inside. There's Kevin Siggy in 11th position, finished quite well in the sprint race. He's up the back of Zbigniew Szara. Andonovski there in 9th, just ahead of that. And the size of that BMW compared to that Porsche is massive. Let's see what can happen into turn 1 here. If Siggy can get the good exit that he did last time. And there's one of the Red Bulls, 2 of the Red Bulls diving into the pit lane.
That was Siebel. Coming in early. So going for the early pit stop 34 minutes to go in this, so only 11 minutes into this. I don't know whether he's got any damage. Hello, Jakub Brzezinski getting it done maybe on Michi Hoyer. I think they're going to be side by side, but no, Brzezinski just absolutely filters through, and Jakub Brzezinski now in the lead. You know, we saw signs of this in the sprint race. Jakub Brzezinski really putting that Corvette to great work, and he's doing it once again here in the main race.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd expect him to be in the lead at some point in this race. I didn't expect it to be that soon as we see Dennis Jordan up the back end of the sort of Dayglow yellow and black and white. Inspired by a particular type of car. I can't quite put my finger on it, but that Aston Martin seems to have got a little bit of steadiness about it now. I think maybe Ibrahim Khan was just fighting a bit too hard over the first few laps. He's got the Red Bull in behind him, and then don't count out that Porsche of Nikodem Wisniewski as well. He might want to sniff if things kick off between these two.
Yeah, Brzezinski, I mean, what a fantastic performance it's been for the last two races. Like second in the sprint and the main race at Spa. He managed to work his way back up from, I think it was at 8th or 9th, right? He started in the main race, so managed to get himself up into the second. So fantastic driving there. And what was he, 4th, 5th in the sprint race already at Indianapolis here, and now finds himself in the top there. Matt Richards, a little sign from the GT champion, GT Challenge champion of last season, season 3. Unfortunately, not being the season for him. Probably going to be sending himself back down, if not to the relegation, certainly into the contention. He's where is he? Where is he in points? I don't even see him. Is that far adrift? Where is he? No, he's not. He's not that bad at all. What am I about? I'm looking at the wrong. I'm looking at race 1. I was thinking, where the hell is he? I'm sure he's down the bottom points. It's 8-18. So actually, this may well save his relegation battle. He needs to get a bit more points on the board, though.
Yeah, so we've got Dennis Jordan and Timotej Andonovski now in the pit lane. So pitting within the first 15 minutes of the race. Time has absolutely flown by so far. 15 minutes in already. Ibrahim Khan has a bit of a gap to Wisniewski, but that gap will probably close up. Kevin Siggy being chased by Yuri Toman now through the middle section. This is where the tyres will start to be a little bit past their sell-by date, but they're GTE tyres, so they do go for a long time. But if they're being loaded up and loaded up and loaded up constantly, then they will sort of wear, compared to somewhere like Monza or somewhere like that. Maybe, you know, like Le Mans, where you can like triple stint them because they're just, you know, you're not really loading it that much. But locking up, no ABS on these cars. Now we switch to GTEs rather than the GT3s that you'll be seeing on Friday night to see who wins in that series. Yildiz Via is already out of the race, as you see there at the bottom of the timing screens, as Ibrahim Khan and Risto Capit now dive down the famous pit lane as we look back from Kevin Siggy to Zbigniew Szara. Or sorry, forward now to Zbigniew Szara. It was back to Kasper Stolzer.
Oh, hello.
That almost went round.
Chin almost losing it there on Nikodem. But the Porsche hangs on. Oh, hello. That was just a little, almost a tap onto Szara just behind. So that's Kevin Siggy getting very tight on the bumper. As Siggy has to be, Szara, has to be defensive. Just watching that gigantic BMW eclipsing the little Porsche. The little Porsche that can. From Butler Powell up in 6th place right now. Yuri Toman looking to try and gain places and finish strong here in the main race. Still got a lot of work to do. Of course, we're going to see how those early pit stops shake out for both Siebel and Jordan. As they're going to have to come out and do some long stints. But as you say, the tyres can do it. But they need to hope that they get some clear air in there when they come out. You know, maybe they're just thinking, okay, we're stuck in this snake, we're losing time. Which, in fairness, there was a lot of battles going on at the front, so they kind of were losing time as opposed to having some clear track. But as you can see, lots of people now diving into the pits on this lap. Siggy stays out. Oh, what's that? That's brilliant.
Kasper Stolzer.
Yeah.
Just looped it on the entrance.
Yeah,
looped it on the entrance to the pit lane. How's he done that? Must have caught the grass, maybe left his braking a bit too late because of the nature of the pit lane entry. Hopefully nobody hits anything in this melee.
Yeah, so remember, you can connect in the pits. Unlike many other sims out there, in rFactor 2, collision is still very much on in the pits. So, really? You've got to be careful. Absolutely realism. You've got to be careful when you come out. There's no car there, and don't collect another car on the way through because it's going to hurt you more than it hurts them. As you can see, it is going to be Shara coming out right alongside Yuri Toman here, I think it
Luckily, you've got the 2 lanes, and there's the pit lane line, and Dennis Jordan will have to let the Butler Power Porsche go as he's ahead. And then this is probably one of the worst pit lane exits in the world. You have to dive across the racing line, and it can be absolutely ruining if you collect somebody. But so, here we go. Ooh, hello.
So okay, side by side. Well, what's that? Oh, that's a little too hefty there as Mitchell Hoyer and Ibrahim Khan connect one another. Nuno Pinto up on the inside. These guys, of course, all challenging out. Now, as far as I can tell, Dennis Jordan's pit stop has put them ahead of all these guys, right? He went in first, didn't he?
Yeah, he's done one hell of an undercut, but it's Siebel, Kazdorp 12 and 13, so they've not really done anything out of this, really, but Jordan up to 6.
I think he's second. I think he's going to be second after this all shakes out, because Brzezinski's ahead of him. I think he's going to be second as this all shakes out. I think that's been a magnificent pit from him. We'll see how it works out. Of course, Rotting, Simičić, and Sigi, there's still all yet to go in. Cedar Via just going in there, but Dennis Jordan, I think he's going to be second when this all shakes out. That has been an absolute goddamn godsend of an undercut. It's unbelievable, considering it didn't really pay off for Siebel.
So Via's now in the pit lane. We've got Rotting, Simičić, and Siggy now the only non-stoppers. So, yeah, Dennis Jordan's going to be third.
Third, you think? I think second.
Third or second, yeah.
Siggy, no, he's going to be second. He's 100% going to be second because he's behind Brzezinski. Yeah, no, I mean, Andonovski's also done very well, by the way, because he's going to get himself third place at the moment, so he's looking fantastic. Risto Capit up behind him, but there he is. There is Dennis Jordan on your screen, right up behind Brzezinski. So what a hell of a pit stop he did, and he was, I think, the first to pit early. I think it was the very first. This is going to be Kasper Stoltz bidding it, yeah. And nearly collected back onto the main track, just managed to grab it.
Yeah, just took it off onto the grass and locked the brakes to ensure that he was being nice and safe. Andonovski leading Capit now through the middle sector. Doing a bit of lawn mowing at the same time. So, yes.
So the question is, where does Yerny Simičić come out when he pits? Because obviously still yet to pit, he's going long. Well, I mean, to say going long, it's kind of like the middle. It's a 45-minute race at 26 minutes, so it's not exactly going long. But I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried for him right now.
Well, if Ruben puts the relative to leader on, so we can see how far back. There we go. Thank you very much. I reckon he's going to come out around Khan, Pinto, Siebel, Kazdorp.
Oh, wow. So you think he's gained quite a few positions. Speaking of positions being gained, Risto Capit going past Andonovski like it was very easy. In and done into turn 1.
Saying that, I don't think the pit stop is that long, so I reckon he'd come out about... He's got 11 seconds. Well, he's got about 10 seconds to Rotting. About 27 to Brzezinski. He's going to come out 4th or 5th, I reckon. I mean, he's going to come out ahead of Capit, definitely.
In fairness, I think he could finish 24th and still win.
So he's just got to finish.
He really just needs to finish, I think. Yeah, he really just needs to finish. He's got a 28-point advantage over Jordan. It was Siebel that was really the contender with an 18-point lead. But yeah, that win and the fact that the Red Bulls struggled in the sprint, getting only 10th and 11th, whereas obviously Simičić got the win there. I think that may have secured it. But either way, Kevin Siggy and Yerny Simičić still out there. Siggy at the moment has yet to pit. Yeah, Simičić is right behind Siggy. So Simičić has gained a hell of a lot of time. Bearing in mind, he was just playing it casual. I think what's happened is everyone's diving into pits, and he has wellied it. I think that's the only thing I can count. I'd be interested if you can check out the lap times, what he's done over sort of say the last 5 laps, to see whether he's really been flooring it here. Speaking of flooring it, Nuno Pinto, the Porsche that can, getting it past Ibrahim Khan, or certainly soon up the inside, won't get it done. What's going on behind as well? I can see that Shara that's getting very leggy, I think it was, in the Porsche further back. A little tap there, but Nuno Pinto will get it done past Ibrahim Khan as he slips back to 10th.
In answer to your question, he did a 33.4 on lap 2, fair enough. But since then, it's been mid to high 32s. Even with all the stuff going on around him. So he's been very, very consistent. Lap 13 was a 32.6 for him. 12 was a 32.4. So, yeah, been very, very consistent, just getting on with things. And then when it's his time to pit, it'll be his time to pit. So I think he's running that tank right down to the bottom and seeing how far he'll be once it all cycles round. This is now taking the lead as Siggy's into the pit lane.
Siggy pits. 60% of you guys, certainly on the YouTube side of things, voted that Simičić would take it. And at the moment, it's looking certainly likely. Currently, the leader, of course, Rotting, and Simičić is still yet to pit. And we expect Jakub Brzezinski to take the lead as they do. Well, where Siggy comes out will actually be pretty telling on his position overall. Was down in around, I think, 9th or 10th, wasn't he?
Yeah, but then I changed it to like 6th or 7th or something like that. So he's going to come out around 9th or 10th. So maybe I was right the first time.
Oh, I think
actually,
he's lost way more. I think he's lost way more time. So going long may not be paying off here. This is Shara. This is the battle we saw. We were watching the battle in front, and we saw Shara getting involved. Yeah, there you go. So it's it's actually, tell a lie, it was Wisniewski, isn't it? It was Wisniewski's Porsche.
I saw someone go around, but I couldn't tell on the long shot. So that's going to be looked at. If we can get another angle of that, just to see what his brake inputs and things like that, because there was the huge puffs of white smoke as he just flat spotted the living daylights out of those tyres. So another shot of that would be great. So Michi Hoyer in 6th, he's chasing down his Ferrari compatriot, albeit in another team, Timotej Andonovski. You'd expect Michi Hoyer to probably make a move at some point. As here is a replay now. Let's see what happened. This will be a little bit of contact. They both hit the curb, and then that Vargas to Martin is just in the wrong place at the wrong time. So
yeah.
Ooh, that's actually a tricky one now. We've looked at it. Ooh.
I mean, Nikitin was sort of certainly off the racing line, let's put it that way. Chinchik comes in. Yeah, Chinchik can do nothing about that. He just gets collected on the way through.
Shouldn't be too much damage in regards to the suspension and things like that, so the car should still be drivable. It might be a tiny bit slow in a straight line, but still in the race, and that's what matters. As look at Nuno Pinto, he wants to sniff at everything tonight because Michi Hoyer's having to go at Andonovski. You think that Pinto might have a go at this later on as Michi Hoyer manages to get through, but he vaults the curb in doing so. Bit of contact, but he's through. Now Nuno Pinto wants to go.
While that was happening, he just got a glimpse of it. Dennis Jordan getting taken over by Risto Capit. It was just at the end in turn 1 as we were watching that battle play out. Just saw that get done. So Dennis Jordan losing a place to Risto Capit. Not what he wanted. Speaking of, Nuno Pinto threw on Andonovski along with Michi Hoyer, so both getting it done past him.
I mean, driver of the day candidate right there. That's the performance he's put in tonight has been absolutely amazing. 7th position in the feature race in a Porsche that's sort of been out of favour all season. Now you've got Andonovski being chased by Ibrahim Khan. I think Andonovski was one of the first to pit, so his tyres are going to be a little bit older, but Ibrahim Khan still chasing down the Nitavelic driver here with 20 minutes remaining. Simičić now is one of the final drivers to pit. Kevin Rotting still goes round again, I think.
Yeah, so this is the time to tell. In the pits he goes. Kevin Rotting, as you say, will be race leader. Jakub Brzezinski, I mean, Jakub Brzezinski was only 8 seconds behind anyway, so he's definitely going to go past. Now, obviously, Simičić was around about 16th, 17th when all the pit stops shook out, so we don't expect him to be coming out sort of in that top 10, that's for sure. The question is, how far down is he going to be? Because the long pits doesn't seem to have paid off. Really, Simičić. 13th.
Is he going to come out behind Siggy?
Oh, he's coming out still now. He's still coming out of the pits. So
right.
So you see it at the bottom. Yeah, I was going to say. So 18, 19 maybe. as that one sneaks on through. 18th is where he comes out. Well, so let me just tell you the points. So first place, you get 110 points. 18th at the moment would be 88 points. So it is a difference of 22 points overall. So if that was the case and Dennis Jordan happened to be in the lead, then Dennis Jordan would not take it still because it's a 28-point lead. But if Alex Siebel was up there, he's got a lot of work to do in the next 20 minutes. It's still looking like Simoncic may well take this.
Doing the bare minimum Alain Prost style. Yeah. Love it. As Nuno Pinto is under attack from a Ferrari and an Aston Martin. Coming out of Sector 2 into Sector 3. That fast right-hander taking a little bit slower than I'm used to, given that driving those Formula Pro cars, which will be back next year, along with this. Still got one more GT-based racing series to go as Nikita Wisniewski overcooks it into the snake pit. That's a free position there for Yoni Simoncic, so he's gained one position at least.
Yeah, managing to keep it going. Kevin Rottin just having a little moment, a few laps of glory in the lead, but he is being caught fast by Jakub Brzezinski. Nikita Wisniewski being chased down by Luis Felipe Capamagian there. Ibrahim Khan still also staying in there as Capamagian, a very telltale car, that one, will get past. Now, Wisniewski, if you remember, was the one that was spun in that Porsche, so probably carrying a fair chunk of damage within that Porsche. How managing to defend just for now, though?
He's got a bit too deep through 4. Capamagian will have the inside line, but then it will switch back to the inside line for Wisniewski, so Wisniewski should hold on to that through the sort of long left-hander and then onto the back stretch. So Wisniewski's got that move done. Should pull away from that BMW. So the battles happen at the front, they happen in the middle, and they happen at the back. That's how competitive the series has been all season.
Yeah, fantastic stuff overall. But at the moment, Simoncic in 16th will still be the champion now. He's been close. He's been close over the years. You know, sixth place in season 1, then improved himself up into, I think it was 4th place, wasn't he, in season 2 overall. And once again, you know, as we moved into season 3, was in 8th place. So he's always been in and around that top 10. Yoni Simoncic, you know, certainly within rFactor 2, the GT Pro season, we know he's obviously done it and won it in many other tournaments as well. But this would be his first GT Pro Championship if he was to take it. Just 16 minutes remaining in this race, and all he needs to do is keep on that black stuff.
Yep. As I can hear horns going off on rFactor 2. Someone's not happy.
That's Ibrahim Khan, I think, and Antonovsky right there.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, he'll be the third winner with Jan van der Heijden, who'll sadly be relegated at the end of this season, down right at the bottom of the standings through missing races. And obviously, Haniowski, the 2-time winner, so joins a exclusive club in rFactor 2, as we see a replay now of Andonovski and Khan. Andonovski locking up on the inside, manages to keep the position from Ibrahim Khan, but here comes the Red Bull, but doesn't get past into 4 at this attempt anyway.
So far, so good. Dennis Jordan, he's certainly, with his pit stop, it worked out wonders for him. Here's Kevin Rottin, the final man to pit, coming in. I mean, it was only a matter of time before Jakub Brzezinski, who's going past now, would have got it done and retaken the lead anyway, as now as he blasts on through. What a drive, by the way, for Jakub Brzezinski. What a lead he has. It's been fantastic for him here, and it was fantastic for him at Spa. 2 second places at Spa in the sprint and the main race. We saw him making waves towards the end of the sprint race, didn't we? And we thought, well, it's only a matter of time before he got done here in the main race. He has done very well for Williams Esports. It will certainly do his points a world of good as well coming into these final races. It just seems that the start of the season wasn't really where it worked out for him. Certainly at Sebring, got a big fat goose egg at Sebring in both those races, so possibly he had to miss that one out. But yeah, almost maximum points earned at Spa, did get the win in the main race as well at Monza. So this would be his second main race win of the season, which in a sixth race tournament is pretty darn good, and may well end up boosting him way up that table in terms of points. 717 was where he started the day on, but wow, look at that snake forming behind Andonovski.
Yeah, he's defending very, very well at the minute. Like I say, there's only really turn 1 that's the only heavy braking zone on the track in terms of getting that braking move done. But if Ibrahim Khan can get a decent exit of that second last corner where you get the traction zone and get the drive away, slipstream should be doable into turn 1. But as we keep saying, Ibrahim Khan is carrying 10 kilos of weight on the Aston that we're on board with right now. So here's that final corner. It's sort of like Brooklands in a way. It's that late apex. And then he's got to absolutely mash that throttle, let the traction control take over. Can he get into the slipstream of the Ferrari? The car just sort of drifts wide. And now Andonovski goes defensive, so he's thinking that Aston Martin might have the legs to get it done. But it's just too far back once again.
Yeah,
unless he goes full send.
Nah, I don't think so. Whoa! He made Andonovski take a sizable chunk of that curb, that's for sure. But yeah, the Nita Velux driver hanging on at the moment. Andonovski running in a great performance. Kevin Siggy getting past Yuri Toman down in 11th and 12th. I was waiting for the pit stop maneuver there, as that was almost connected on that rear bumper. And look what's just behind him. Yerny Simicic in 13th at the moment with Rocek behind him. So Simicic just keeping it steady at the back of the snake. This is all the way back from Andonovski, by the way. All of this is from Andonovski. They are just queued up now, right now.
Well, Simicic has got a lighter car and fresher tyres, so if he wasn't carving his way through the field, I'd be very, very surprised. But he's having a go at the Varga car of Yuri Toman. Switchback after switchback after switchback. Can he get it done into the next corner? A little bit of contact. Cuts the corner nicely. He's got the drive. You can see that. He doesn't have a look down the inside of this sweeping long right-hander. Does he slam on the brakes into the snake pit? No, he's got David Rocek in behind. Rocek won't be making any moves on his championship elect teammate, as we see a replay now. This is Kevin Siggy. That's
a late send.
That's late.
That's very late.
Fair enough, he's through. Or is he? Is he? No.
Yeah, no, he got it done, didn't he, on Sinchik? I think he got it done. Yes, he did. It was Toman, sorry. Yuri Toman, speaking of getting it done, Simicic going around the outside of Yuri Toman, and we'll get it done. There we go. It's just a small edge, but now I think Yuri has just found a bit of teeth and realising, you know what, I can win this championship whether I'm first or whether I'm 20th, I don't care. And now he's having fun with it for the final 10 minutes.
He's carving his way through now. He's now got Kevin Siggy ahead. And then, speaking of Shara, Siggy and Shara have been battling. You can just see it happening up ahead. Siggy tries to shove it down the inside. It's not going to work there. And as we see, the big red machine following the Butler Power Motorsport car. Shara loving that Porsche. Picks Porsches virtually every time. I think he has picked a Porsche every time, even when we were running GT3s.
Is that Shara, or was it Pev saying you will pick a Porsche?
And here comes Simicic.
I mean, he's trying to overtake in places you don't normally overtake, that's for sure. He is looking to just work his way through, going long, the second longest in terms of pit stops. He is looking to weave his way through, and he's benefiting from the fact that Andonovski's kind of backing everyone up right now. So there's opportunities being opened up left, right, and centre as they all look to try and make the moves.
I think a lot of these drivers are seeing him come up behind and just go, I'm not wiping out the guy that might win the championship. I'm just going to let him go. Siggy giving him enough room and not doing anything silly in the braking zones either. So you see them just charging their way up. Here comes Siggy again. That's a good move. Ooh,
oh, that's deep.
I thought he was going to hit.
That is deep, and that was a bit too deep for Simicic as well. Almost tried to follow through on the Porsche there. But yes, I have watched. We're commentating on a different championship, and the championship leader was basically coming through. And I'd never seen this before. Somebody literally indicated it wasn't like a lap thing. It was a battle for position. He literally indicated, says, "I'm getting out your way, mate. I'm not wiping out the championship leader. It ain't happening." Very interesting to see how it works. But I tell you what, this is very interesting right now. The two Red Bulls of Siebel and Kastorp are getting chased down by Yerny Simicic, who is now having a look up the inside of Kevin Siggy. You can see it in the rearview mirror once again. He's got Yuri Toman that he's just taken over, who was a championship rival coming into the start of today. Not the case after the sprint race, but now Simicic is having a great time.
Siggy's one of those drivers that you want to see at the top. The car's probably not been there all season. Here is a replay now on board with Yuri Toman. Up ahead, you can see the BMW making the move on the Porsche, and then there's Simicic just getting a bit wobbly. And Toman's basically gone, I don't want to wipe out the championship leader. Let's just let him go. So, varying levels of fuel, varying levels of tyre life. Some will have fresher tyres than others. That's why Simicic has been able to get further up the field and make moves. And there is a Red Bull making a move on Anita Velox.
Yeah, Andonovski under pressure, and a little biff in there onto Siebel. By the way, Ibrahim Khan got it done past Andonovski while we were watching all that play out. Siggy having a little look up the inside of Yuri Kastorp as well to see if he can get it, and look at Michi Hoyer tucked in under the rear wing of that BMW to try and follow on through as they all squeeze around once again, looking for any angle. Big heavy braking from Siggy, and that opens the door for Simicic, and he is through that Ferrari like a little gazelle at the moment, trying to sneak on through the inside. But Siggy, look how wide he's going to push him.
I would have said it's more like a yappy Yorkshire Terrier the way he's trying to get through at the minute. He's going to try and send it around the outside into the next corner, but no, Siggy's got the inside line. Simicic is just going, it's the final race, but he's got to be careful. If somebody makes the wrong move, he could end up going into that 24th position that we don't want to see him in, because we've worked out at the minute that's the lowest he can finish.
Well, I mean, I still don't think it is. I just don't think there's enough cars running that it can actually cost him, unfortunately, because it needs to be 28 points that Dennis Jordan makes. Well, Dennis Jordan is in third, but as you can see, Jakub Brzezinski 6+ seconds ahead of Risto Capit and Jordan. They are having very much away. Jakub Brzezinski challenge further down the field, actually. That was Dennis Jordan having a little look there. That is also Michi Hoyer under pressure from Nuno Pinto, who, would you believe, that Porsche, I tell you what, he is having a great old time today.
What a lad. Oh, here we go. It's getting a bit leery here, isn't it? As we see the Red Bull of Alex Siebel has finally managed to clear the Ferrari of Timotej Andonovski, but look at all these other drivers on board on the roof of Yerny Simicic as they come round the back end of the track to the sort of infield section. Long left-hander, a bit of a nibble on the rear diffuser of Siggy's BMW. 6.5 minutes remaining on the clock, and 6.5 remaining of the season. And that you can see the gold, black, and white car of your championship leader. Just trying to get past Kevin Siggy, trying to make up some extra points. He's definitely going out in style, is Yerny Simicic tonight.
Absolutely. He played it as delicately as he dared at the start of the race, and it was open. Dennis Jordan started out in second place, had a torrid start, slipped down to 6th, 7th, 8th, he was falling away, had a magnificent pit stop and worked his way back up into that second place. He's lost that down to third to Risto Capit. Will be, it seems, on the podium because Nuno Pinto is a long way back, but unfortunately for championship hopes for the likes of Siebel and Jordan, it is not to be, because the man from Burst Esports, who's been in the top 10 for the last 4 championships, is looking to get it done. That's going to be Kastorp reaching straight past. Simicic having a look on the BMW of Siggy as well. Andonovski's getting picked apart.
That car is round.
Oh, and there we go. That was only a matter of time, I felt.
That happened just as someone in chat put really great racing. So I don't know if Zero Skill jinxed that, but that Ferrari is now round and dropping down the field like a stone. So Simicic has gained a freebie out of all of that. I don't know if that'll be looked at the end of the race by Jimmy Allison. If somebody reports it, then they report it. I don't think it will do much in the grand scheme of things of the championship. Just under 4 minutes or 4.5 minutes remaining. As we see a replay, this is Simicic's view. And yeah, I think they just made contact and then Siggy wasn't able to react, and that was just what sent him round. So probably just a racing incident for me.
Speaking of reacting, I'll tell you what, Siggy's BMW is looking a bit bruised and battered at the moment. It's got front damage, back damage. It's been nibbled from every angle. Yeni Simicic, though, he's got a bit of damage on the front, hasn't he? A bit of nibbling on towards that BMW, but at the moment, sitting in 10th place, looking like a championship win right here. Yes, it's not going to get done here, but it was done over the season. He's had some fantastic results, getting himself a second place in the first race at Monza behind Jakub Brzezinski, who's our current race leader, of course. Second place in the sprint at Sebring as well. Fantastic results overall. He couldn't quite get it done. He was only 8th at Sebring in the main race. Then we moved on, 5th place once again in the sprint race. He's been so consistent at Lime Rock as well. Another 9th place finish for him overall. As Siggy not going to get this done, but it might open up for Simicic. No, not going to happen. I will carry on as the race keeps hotting up. It was a win at Loch Drummond in the sprint race as well that earned Simicic another 95 points, and then again a 4th in the main race. Really doing brilliant work there. And Spa, well, it was all fantastic once again. 4th in the sprint race and, of course, in the main race. Simicic got himself another 8th and, of course, picking up another sprint race. So, for me, it feels like Simicic has done really well in the qualifying, got himself a great place in the sprint race, and that's kind of carried the points through and just stayed consistent in the main races over the season.
Well, that's the way that the point system works, is that you have first and second, and then after that it's just 1 point between each driver. So consistency really does pay off in this series, and Yoni Simicic has just done that. So consistent. He, like the first 4 races of the season, so at the first 2 meetings, if you will, he was second. It was just bang, 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 and then he finally got that long-awaited first victory at Loch Drummond about a month or so ago, and now he's on course to be the 3rd winner in 4 seasons of GT Pro. But what will happen next season with the draft? We've seen Jovski get relegated after the draft. We've had Jan van der Heide get relegated now. So will the curse of the championship leader happen to Yoni Simicic? I don't think it will. He should be able to find a way of driving around whatever gets lobbed at him for season 5.
He's also not a driver to stick to a car. Like, obviously he's been in the Audis for a long time, but now here in the Ferrari is quite happily adjusted to it. Obviously there's no Audi in the GTE. Bish bash bosh once again. Matt Richards and Wisniewski. Wisniewski's been in the ringer today, it seems, here in the main race. Oh, Siggy once again looking to try and get past, and Simicic may well try and benefit from this time around. Tries to sneak up the inside, still gets the drag. They're both going to go wide, I feel, here. And it's a little dangerous, I would say. I think Simicic should probably just back away with 1:30 to go and just let this play out.
Yeah, next lap should be the final lap. So just a few miles left to go for Simicic. And there goes Siggy down the inside. And he wants that position, and he doesn't care how he's getting it. But here comes Simicic as well. And look at Yuri Toman in the back. He wants a piece of this as well. I think they'll behave themselves into the next section. But Simicic does have a look, probably trying to shove Kasdorp offline. I don't think that's going to work on the very, very tall Dutchman.
Ooh,
it almost did.
Simicic is on the outside here. Toman, I thought, maybe was going to look for it there, but yeah, Siggy does get it done on Kasdorp. And with now just 50 seconds to go, race leader Jakub Brzezinski has gone over the line. So seemingly into the final lap here as Simicic is going to have a move onto Kasdorp. He's going to be around the outside. He can absolutely work around the outside because he'll put him on the inside of the next circuit, but he's got to be careful here. Now he swings around. He should be able to get his car in front. Oh, that's just a little sideways. That's behind. That was Rocek as well, and Yuri Toman, but this is not done yet. Oh, that's a sideways sliding car of the Red Bull, and Kasdorp in the end has to give up the position.
Simicic finally gets past. That's him up to 9th. So he's gained 1 position with 9 seconds left on the clock. So he's gained 1 position where he started. I should point out, because he went down to 16th. So he's gained many positions over the course of the evening. This is a replay of
both
Toman going
driving,
halfway around. Just getting another whack off Shara for good measure. But they're still
Shara lost
going.
a spot to that. Oh, that's unfortunate. So Shara lost out to Brzezinski, lost out of place there. Jakub Brzezinski will go through for the Williams Esports team as the winner here. 2 second places at Spa as well, but the winner at Monza and now at Indianapolis. But it will be Dennis Jordan rounding out the podium. Risto Cap in second place for him from Roman Grosjean Esports. Red Bull picking themselves up that podium position. Great drive from Nuno Pinto as well, it has to be said, in fourth. Michi Hoyer down in fifth. But this man on your screen, Yerni Simicic for Burst Esports, is the GT Pro Season 4 champion. A magnificent performance all the way through. As you said, at the start of the season, 2 second places at Monza, really delivering a second place in the sprint race at Sebring, a win at Loch Drummond main race, and a win here at the Indianapolis sprint race has locked out the points required, and he will be the GT4 champion. He's been a champion across many other sim racing titles, and now here in rFactor 2, he finds himself at the top of the pile in Season 4. And, for a guy that's been so consistent over the 4 seasons that he has competed, he has been always there or thereabouts throughout. It's great to see a well-deserved victory.
Yeah, it's been well-deserved. He did phenomenally well in Formula Sim Racing as well, where he wrapped up his 3rd championship there. And now he's GT Pro Series Powered by Traction champion as well. So he'll get a nice little trophy to go there. So means that Burst and Zancho are the only 2 teams to win both Challenge and Pro, as it so happens. So there's another tick in the record books there for Burst as well. So he wins the championship, and he won it in style by wiggling his butt over the line, as it were.
Absolutely fantastic racing action. In fairness to him, he didn't go for it. He just played it by the numbers, and he had no reason to, right? He had no reason to challenge it. He clearly had a lot of fun, I would say, after the pit stop. He went as long as he dared. Credit to the Red Bull Esports guys. Dennis Jordan made a really good choice to come in early. It absolutely paid off for him, but it didn't pay off for Siebel, who came in right behind him. So I don't know what they did different, whether he went a little bit leaner on the fuel or maybe he started heavier on the fuel, because Dennis Jordan had a tragic start. He could have been a contender here in the main race. Nothing to take away from Jakub Brzezinski's win, though, because he did brilliant to carve his way through the field as well and make up a lot of ground overall. What a fantastic season it has been. Don't forget also, we're going to be looking at the bottom 5. Keep your eyes on the site to see exactly where that's going to play out when the points do come through, because the bottom 5 will be automatically relegated, and then of course the 5 after that will go into a promotion battle to stay here in the GT Pro Series. But €3,000 heading the way Yerni Simicic as well. I think he'll be very happy with that overall, as well as, of course, the race win money that you get all the way down throughout the season. So it has been a very spectacular season for the likes of Simicic. I got the feeling that maybe Jordan's probably stole second place away from Siebel overall, which of course is that €1,500 prize as opposed to 500. It's definitely going to be between Siebel and Jordan for that second place.
Yeah, we'll find out in a minute. I think Ruben's sort of downloading the batch file to the OBS thing that he's got up, and he's
he's working hard.
It's like NASA, that thing. You can run the USS Enterprise off that thing. He's got Captain Picard sitting behind him trying to tell him how to direct the stream, but there's the round prize money, so everybody earns money irrespective of where they finish. So if you finish 17th to 30th, that's €20. That's actually pizza money for the night, all the way up to 200. So the winners, so Yerni Simicic and Brzezinski, will be taking that money home with them. I think it's all added up over the course of the season, and then it's given out in one lump sum right at the end. So a nice, happy payday for Yerni Simicic. So the beers are on you tonight. So it's the prize money goes up every year. So maybe it'll go up next year as well with the things that Motorsport Games are helping with rFactor 2 to bring us some cool series. We've got the GTs, and then we've got the Formula stuff that's happening as well. Next season will be going on, so I can't wait for Formula Challenge next season, because it was just so much fun to do, and see what the talent levels are like next season, and see if we can get some winners and movers and shakers on that. And obviously Formula Pro as well, the big money series that Bono House just cleaned up in with Mercedes, but
returns to clean up.
He only won because he had the best car.
I
think that's how it works, isn't it?
That's exactly
with Mercedes. So it's great that rFactor 2 is getting in on this so-called big money esports business, and it's a great promotion for the sim, and it's great fun to commentate on and see how these guys are doing it, driving like 2 seconds a lap faster than me. I was like, I can't do that. How do they do that? So it's just an incentive to get better at the hobby, and then turn your hobby into a living, as some of these people have. It must be great not having to leave the house.
Yeah, and while it's great that we've had drivers, but there it is. There's the final confirmation. Yerny Simicic is the champion, of course, of the GT Pro Season 4. Alex Siebel confirming by 3 points ahead of his Red Bull teammate. Second place for him, and Dennis Jordan with that performance there. Oh, man. Even if because it's 105, isn't it, for second place? So even if he had have held that second place, he would not have got second overall in the championship. Man, you got to be looking at that first sprint race. That's where they could have made the time. But anyway, Kevin Siggy, what a performance! The man in the BMW red line, one of the only BMW drivers, I think, on the grid. I don't remember any others out there, confirming that 4th place, obviously, for BMW Team Redline. Ibrahim Khan, carrying 10 kilograms extra, still confirms that 5th place for him on, it says Zancho, but we know he's in Rocket. Jakub Brzezinski, of course, also in the Williams. A great win for him to start and end the season in the main race with the wins and a fantastic 2 second places at Spa overall. Yuri Toman just fell away towards the end of the season, didn't he? Spa and Indianapolis just didn't work out for him. He was a points contender going into Spa. He was in second place overall. Risto Capit, he ended up with 2 fantastic races, getting himself the win at Spa sprint race and 2 second places here at Indianapolis. It's going to be very happy with his end of the season. It started off badly, but managed to grind out. These are the places, though, Aidan, that we're going to be looking forward to, because obviously we're going to be having that promotion relegation battle playing out for places in the GT Pro, and that will be from Matt Richards, Chiara Capamagian, Luca D'Amelio, and Kevin Rotting. They will all be involved in that, pending any penalties or whatever that may come, obviously, along the way. This is all post standings, post any penalties that may follow.
Yeah, so you've got Prezi Martona, Jan van der Heide, Arshken Fleet, Ferris Stanley, Nordies Viers. Those are the automatic relegations, and like you say, Rotting up to Richards will enter the sort of playoff with the second 5 drivers in GT Challenge. So they'll all go into one big race. There'll be 10 of them, and then they'll just have a mini championship, and whoever is like the top 5 in that will come up to GT Pro to potentially earn themselves some cash through racing some of the best drivers in, well, I say some of the best drivers in rFactor 2. There's Yerny Simicic with the stats: starts 12, wins 2, poles 1, fastest laps 1, no DNFs, which is always good to have over the course of the season. Finished every single lap, every single race on the lead lap, led 58 of them, had 5 podiums and 7 top 5s and 12 top 10s, so he never finished out of the top 10 all season. So that is the consistency that wins you championships, and Yerny Simicic is probably one of the most consistent drivers in rFactor 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Being in the top 10 throughout all 4 seasons, as I say here in the GT Pro, has always been a contender there or thereabouts. So it's great to see he finally gets his well-deserved win overall, with a lot of the drivers sort of doing very well. Jakub Brzezinski, wasn't quite enough for him, was he? You can see led 25 races overall, so certainly did very well overall. But as you can see, a couple of the drivers not performing throughout the season and not doing that many laps either, which is why they find themselves down towards that tail end.
Yeah, it's. I think the Williams drivers are 2 drivers that could be at the pointy end, along with Siggy. But next season, there's the potential of Erhan Yovsky returning to pro as well. So if he comes back up, because there's a lot of things going on at the minute, and the drivers might be thinking, I've got too much going on, I might have to drop something. So it might be that Erhan doesn't come back, but I'm sure he will, and probably try and claim his throne back at the end of the GT Challenge Season 5, and that'll be great to watch as the drivers battle it out again. You can see all the stats there for the bottom half of the field. Prezi Martona down there at the bottom. 2 DNFs. Like Kevin Rotting had 4 DNFs as well. So he's even though he DNF'd from 4 races, still manages to stay in with the shot of going into that playoff race. So he can probably keep his seat in GT Pro. But yeah, we've just got to keep looking forward now to 2022 and for GT Pro and Challenge again. But there will still be some racing to go because we need to find out who gets to stay and who gets to go down with the sprint races that decide the relegation.
Yeah, it has been a fantastic season, no doubt about it. It's going to be great to see, obviously, the tail end of the GT Challenge season as well, to see who will be confirmed champion there. That will be on Friday. You'll be able to catch that. That will be here as well in Indianapolis for the GT3s to see who will be coming up as champion. We'll get ourselves a new champion in there. I certainly know the Nita Velix guys were doing very well throughout the season every time I jumped in and covered some of that. So very excited to see how that's going to play out. We'll be on the same channels that you are watching this on right now. So very excited to see how it all leads out. Yoni Simicic, the champion of the GT Pro Season 4. Congratulations to him. Well deserved throughout. And I don't think we could happen for a nicer bloke as well. He's a pretty nice bloke overall.
Yeah, he is. He's quite modest. He knows he's good, but he doesn't ram it down your throat, and he knows what to do as well. He doesn't just charge into a gap.
He's a clean driver.
He's a very, very clean driver, and will be willing to give up a position to help a teammate if he needs to. We saw that happen at Sebring when he gifted the win to Michi Hoyer right at the final sort of 100 yards or so. So he's definitely one of the top guys in terms of how nice of a bloke he is as well. So very, very deserved champion, and I'm sure a lot of the guys in the championship won't be annoyed that he's beaten them, because he's a good guy and he's a good driver. So very well done to him, very well done to Burst, and get the beers in with that prize money.
Yeah, definitely walking away with a lot of money. 3,000 euros, of course, for the win of the championship. And then all the drives he's had across the season with those all adds up to a very nice prize. Congratulations once again to Yerny. Congratulations to the Red Bull guys for getting second and third. That's Alex Siebel and Dennis Jordan rounding out the top 3 prizes. Siebel just nipping it from Dennis Jordan by 3 points. They're going to be looking across the season thinking, I could have done it. It was all very close. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Join us on Friday, as I say, for the GT Challenge to see how that end of the season will happen here at Indianapolis. It has been very entertaining today. Thank you very much to Aidan Millwall. Mill Ward, there we go. Got ya. There he is. Not Hayden Millwall, as he's renamed himself in our channel. Thank you very much, Aidan. To Ruben, of course, behind the scenes. To Jimmy, who's been doing that race control hard and has to deal with all you pleasant drivers throughout the season. It has been fantastic. And of course, thanks to you, the viewers. We will see you in 2022 for the GT Pro next season. See you then.